Channel 4 Sports presents University of Colorado football. From Cyclone Stadium, Jack Trice Field in Ames, it's the University of Colorado Buffaloes versus the Iowa State University Cyclones. Today's game is brought to you in part by US West, making the most of your time. You can count on us to help you manage the business of life. By Mile High Cable Vision, all the things we are. And also by these proud companies for Colorado. Central Banks, the Better Bankers, and KG Men's Store. Great clothes for everything you do.
And good morning from Ames, Iowa, where it's Colorado versus Iowa State. Hi, everybody. Ron Zapolo along with Dave Logan. And Dave, Colorado, of course, third-ranked, undefeated, coming off a couple of emotional wins. They know that Oklahoma and Nebraska loom on the horizon. I think the question this morning, will the Buffs come out ready to play?
That's a very good question. On paper, CU a much better team than Iowa State, and that's something Bill McCartney had to deal with this entire week, making sure his kids realize that, yes, we're a better team than Iowa State, but they're a pretty good football team. Not a great team by any stretch of the imagination, but they've averaged over 400 yards of total offense every game, and they're capable of putting a few points on the board. So maybe a test for CU.
And we've talked so much all year on these broadcasts about the Hagans, the Bieniemies, the Flannigans, the great big play defense, maybe the unsung heroes on this team, the fellows up front in the offensive line who are really getting the job done.
Well, they don't get a lot of credit, and that's the nature of the business for offensive linemen. If you play offensive line, no matter at what level, you don't get much credit, and the only time your name is called is when you do something illegal like hold. But this is a very good offensive line. They've averaged 371 yards rushing, and no matter how good your backs are, you don't run for that kind of yardage unless your guys up front are doing a great job.
Second game of the year on the road for CU. They're 1-0. They may get, as Dave said, a bit of a test today. Iowa State 3-2, coming off a win over Kansas, and a couple of people on offense that can move the football. The quarterback, Brett Oberg, and the big running back, Blaze Bryant.
Well, Blaze Bryant right now is the third leading rusher in the country. Brett Oberg is a guy that last year didn't play very well against CU. Threw a number of interceptions in Boulder, and the Buffaloes beat the Cyclones 24-12. He is the key to the passing attack. Blaze Bryant, as I mentioned, the third leading rusher in the country, a guy that out of junior college nobody really wanted. Now, he's 6'1" and 200 pounds. He's averaging about 138 yards per game, and I think he'll give CU a test this afternoon.
All right, we think CU may get a test this afternoon. Glad you're with us. We'll be back for the start of today's game in just a minute.
US West Communications has a question for every small business. When you have a customer on the line, who's to say you aren't missing a bigger one? Call us about adding another business phone line. US West, making the most of your time.
You come on smooth.
Introducing Bud Dry.
You lead me on. You get me going, and then you're gone.
Dry brewed and cold filtered for a taste that comes on smooth. Then it's gone.
You come on smooth, and then you're
Look, Denver, all the things we are. We are the magic. We are the memories. We are all the things you are. Look, Denver, at all the things we are. Cable vision.
You know me as a tough guy on the field, but off the field I've got a soft spot for people in need. That's why I'm the honorary chairman of the Sachem Project. My newest team, Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda, are giving $100 for every new vehicle sold during the entire 1989 season. Here's a great opportunity for you to help thousands of people in need. So do what I did. Get your next new car or truck from Supreme Subaru or Richards Mazda.
Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda, 1 mile west of I-25 at 104th.
Just a perfect afternoon here in Ames, Iowa for football. As you see the temperature, very comfortable 69 degrees, very little wind, and Should be an excellent afternoon for football here on the artificial turf at Jack Trice Field. The series record between these two, it has been dominated by Colorado. They lead 31, 11-1. They have won the last 5 straight. Of course, last year, both Eric Bieniemy and J.J. Flannigan went for over 100 yards as CU pounded out a 24-12 victory over these Iowa State Cyclones as Bill McCartney leads the third-ranked and undefeated Buffs onto the field. Now let's go down to the field and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you very much, Ron. You know, this is the start of a murderous schedule for Iowa State. They got the Buffs this week. Next week, number 16, Oklahoma comes in here. And then the following week, the Cyclones go on the road to play the 4th-rated Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln. Not an easy 3 weeks for Jim Walden's crew. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Mark. You make a very good point. That is, Dave, a murderer's row. Colorado at home, Oklahoma at home, and then at Nebraska for the 3-2 Iowa State Cyclones.
You know, Jim Walden may very well look back to the Minnesota game when the Golden Gophers came in and they were able to escape with a victory. Talking to a couple of the assistant coaches, they said, had we put out the effort against Minnesota than that we did the next week against Iowa, we certainly would have beaten the Golden Gophers, and they could have been, at this point, 4-1.
Colorado, can't say enough about them. They've won 7 of 8 on the road to show you what kind of road team they've been. They only lost a year ago, that 7-0 loss at Nebraska. They're averaging this year 41 points per game. Looking, Dave, to go 6-0 for the first time since 1961. That was their lone outright Big 8 title, and that was the last time that either Nebraska or Oklahoma didn't have a share of the Big 8 title, to show you the dominance of those two schools over the past 30 years.
Well, obviously, CU has everything in front of them. They've got the 2 teams that stand in their way to get to the Big 8 championship game. The crown would be theirs, of course, should they beat Oklahoma and Nebraska. The key is not stub your toe against a team that you should beat. Now, Jim Walden is a master motivator, and he lives for games like this when it looks like he's got no chance at all. He gets those kids fired up, and I think it's a game CU should win, but a game that if they overlook, the Cyclones might provide them a challenge.
CU has won the toss. They will receive. MJ Nelson, 3rd in the nation in kick returns, will be deep. The CU offense, 4th in the nation in rushing, averaging 371 a game. 7th in total overall offense. They're 1st in net punting, 6th in punt returns, and 3rd in kickoff returns, all nationally. So CU just loaded with statistical leaders up and down the lineup. Jeff Shudak, the fine veteran kicker, ready to start this game as MJ Nelson and J.J. Flannigan deep for the Buffs. And we are underway from Ames. This one coming down towards Nelson and out of bounds. Late arriving crowd here in Ames. Should be just about full by the time we're into this one.
Well, they do have a good time here at Cyclone Stadium. We got here about a couple of hours before the game, and they were tailgating out in the parking lot. It looked like they'd been here about 2 hours before we were.
So they'll move it back to the 30, and Shudak will kick again. Of course, Colorado with Iowa State today, home against Kansas, then at Oklahoma, and home against Nebraska. And as we talked about at the outset of the broadcast, it may be tough for Colorado to stay focused here. Not that they're not aware of what they have to do today, but it's tough when you have 2 big games like that right down the road. We'll try it again. This kick much shorter. Nelson at the 19. MJ across the 30 to the 31. The CU will have good field position. Dave Ader, a defensive back, made the stop, so it's 1st and 10. Hagan, the quarterback. Kissick, the fullback. Hemingway will play a lot. Pritchard, the wingback. Bieniemy, the tailback. Flannigan will play a lot. Campbell, the wide receiver. Perrick, the tight end. A veteran. A solid offensive line Coleman, Garten, Leuenberg, Muhlenberg, and Vanderpool. The handoff is to Kissick, to about the 33, where Melvin Coleman makes the stop. Defensively, for the Cyclones, it'll be Matt Rayberg, Matt Grubb, and Don Edwards up front, along with Randy Byrne. The backers, Larry Radigan, Mike Shane, and Charles Vondra. Phil Navarro, their leading tackler with 68, is out today. He was injured last week against Kansas. Buggs and Robertson. The corners, Baker and Bauer, are the safeties. Bieniemy's got a hole across the 40, out to the 42, where Tim Baker, the free safety, made the stop, and that's a CU first down.
You're probably going to see Iowa State throw the Buffaloes for a few losses today, and conversely, you're going to see a lot of this. Big plays by the CU offense. Cyclones have 8 guys in the line of scrimmage, and you're going to win a few of those battles defensively. You're going to stop CU for negative yards, but CU will hit several big plays because of that defensive alignment.
1st and 10 for Colorado. The ball on the 42. Hagan's got it, cuts it up inside, and is out to the 47, where Melvin Coleman again, the junior linebacker from Chicago, made the stop. A 5-yard pickup for Darian Hagan. What a start Hagan had last week.
He's the guy that obviously makes this thing go. When you talk to the coaches of teams that CU has faced, invariably they all point to Darian Hagan and say he's the big difference from last year's team.
That's Pritchard in motion. Hagan looking to throw. Fires to Nelson. He's got it at the Iowa State 30. Pickup of 23 yards and a first down for Colorado.
Well, for a guy that this spring not many people knew could throw, this is a pretty good throw. Thing is right on the line. Nelson to the post and back to the flag. The ball delivered right on time into the zone defense. And this is really what sets the CU team apart from a lot of clubs that have the ability to run the football. They've proven in the first 5 games that they can hit the key pass when they have to.
They've got it 1st and 10 from the Iowa State 30. They took the opening kickoff, and they're moving right down the field. Kissick inside the 30 to about the 27. Matt Grubb and Don Edwards were both there on the tackle. Give them a couple, make it 2nd and 8.
Iowa State coming into the game wanted to try to keep their defense off the field, and although they haven't had a chance offensively, this is exactly what Jim Walden did not want to have happen, a long, sustained drive early for the CU Buffaloes.
Nelson is the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Bieniemy to the 25, where Melvin Coleman again, the 6'1", 200-pound junior, made the stop. That's 3 tackles now for Melvin Coleman. .12:20 and counting here to go in the first quarter. Ron Sapolo and Dave Logan from Ames, Iowa, where we've just started. The Buffs took it on their 31. They've now got a 3rd and 5 from the Iowa State 25. Campbell and Pritchard are the wideouts. And this one will be on Colorado. Maybe a delay of game.
Well, they're going to call John Perrick, number 87, for moving, although he's a tight end. So he does have the ability to reset once he goes down in a 3-point stance. That's the call. I don't know if we get a chance to take a look at it. John Perrick, number 87, on the end of the line of scrimmage, moved a little bit, but a tight end can move. A tight end can shift. And evidently that's not what's going to happen. See if we can see it. Watch number 87. When Hagan goes under the center, you'll see him bounce back just a little bit. Now, he's the tight end. Offensive linemen are talking to each other. We didn't get a chance to see it, but that was the call.
It's a big penalty because now it's 3rd and 10. Hagan. Incomplete. Pass was deflected by Charles Vondra. Vondra, number 37, a senior from Ames, and Colorado will attempt a field goal with Ken Culbertson.
CU tried to run the same pattern to M.J. Nelson, the little flag pattern. The tight end got so much depth on the crossing route that you had two receivers in the same area. Nice job by the Cyclones, especially the linebackers, getting depth on that crossing route.
Culbertson 5 of 8 from the year, 2 of 3 from 40 to 49. This one is 47 yards. And it is good. Ken Culbertson gets this one started off correctly with a 47-yard field goal. 11:38 to go in the first quarter. Colorado strikes first.
So, how many do we need?
1,500.
1,500?
1,500.
When you need copies fast, count on Kinko's, the copy center. We take care of the copies so you can take care of business. Kinko's is your one-stop copy center with plenty of top-quality, easy-to-use machines, a place to create, a comfortable workspace, a wide selection of stationery and office supplies. Open early and late, Kinko's is your full-service copy center.
Everybody knows that friction is your car's worst enemy. Until now, there really wasn't much you could do about it. But now, CLM has developed an oil additive that really reduces engine wear. And tests prove that CLM not only reduces friction, it cuts emissions, it increases horsepower. Hey, this stuff really works. If you want your engine to last longer, you gotta use CLM oil additive. Ask for it at Osco Drugs and auto parts stores. Works in your lawnmower, too. You tell them Dick Lewis sent you.
Central banks believe if you want to make a difference in Colorado's future, get involved.
We need to find our best prospects and make certain they end up in Colorado. We're looking good for a Major League Baseball team, so let's go out and get one. Sure, a new ballpark would cost about $100 million, but it will create 700 new jobs and bring in something like $68 million per year. In this economy, I'd call that kind of investment a diamond in the rough.
Central banks, in business for Colorado.
So Ken Culbertson, on a strength of a 47-yard field goal, has given the Buffs a 3-0 lead. 31 is Thibodeau. 42 is Steve Lester. They are deep for the Cyclones. Lester from the goal line. Out to the 23, where Tim James and Marcellus Elder combined. Tim James and Mike Motley, combined to make that tackle. So Iowa State will have it 1st and 10 from their 22. Brett Oberg is the quarterback. Bryant the running back. Williams and Gladfelty the wide receivers. Bush is the tight end. Up front, Williams, Van Hoosen, Sims, Wells, and Teotis. Bryan in motion here on 1st and 10. Oberg with time. And he's got it. A first down to Troy Moore out at midfield. McLuhan made the stop.
Well, Blaze Bryant goes in motion. He's got nobody behind him. Actually tries to dump the ball to the tight end. And then with enough presence and enough time to come all the way back, all the way across the field, back to the weak side. And a good catch by Moore. See, this is a guy that has pretty good ability at quarterback. He can run. He's a great scrambler. And he's played long enough in the system that he understands what he's trying to do. Very, very patient, plus with a good running back.
27 yards and a first down on the first play from scrimmage for Iowa State. Oberg's got it again. He hits Wilkinson down to the 40. That'll be another first down. McGee was out there to make the stop, but 2 plays and 2 quick passes and 2 first downs for the Cyclones. Walker, Steed, Salavea, the down linemen. Williams and McGee, the outside backers. Johnson and Jones on the inside. The secondary, McLuhan and Gibbs, the corners. Bruce Young and Tim James, the safeties. And right now their defense maybe back on their heels a bit. 2 plays, and Oberg's got the Cyclones inside the Colorado 40. There's a handoff to Bryant. To the 38, Terry Johnson made the tackle for a pickup of 2. Let's go down to Mark McIntosh.
That was a big field goal for Ken Culbertson. Last week he had some trouble. He had 1 blocked, and he also missed 1. And Bill McCartney had said on a show last week that Ken Culberson was a little slow in getting his kicks off, but he got that one off and hit it from 47 yards. A big confidence builder. Up to you guys.
Thanks very much, Mark. You're looking at Blaze Bryant, third in the nation. 131 carries, 688 yards, a 5.3 average, 9 touchdowns so far in this young season. Wilkinson in motion. Oberg with time again to Bryant. Nice open field tackle by Alfred Williams as he wraps up Bryant at the 33. It'll be a pickup of 4. It'll be third and about 4.
Same type play when Brett Oberg comes back. Initially, he's looking for that quick dunk pass. If the tight end's there, he's going to get the tight end the football. If not, you continue to drop back to the 7 steps, and then you can survey the field. Blaze Bryant, I think, for longtime CU followers, will remind them of Charlie Davis, the great running back in the early 70s. A hop and skip. He'll make people miss, and he breaks a lot of tackles as well.
Here's Bryant. He's got a first down as he's down to the 26. Johnson and Young make the stop, but a third straight first down for Iowa State. CU had 6 sacks last week against Missouri. They got 19 in 5 games, and they may need some pressure to contend with Oberg.
Good job of turning the shoulders up and headed right directly up the field once you decide as to where you're going. USC and UCLA, neither school recruited Blaze Bryant out of Golden West JC in California. Kind of tough to believe for the third-ranked rusher in the country.
On 1st and 10, the delay to Bryant. Down to the 21. Salavea made the tackle, but a 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Bryant, 6'1", 200 pounds, a junior out of Huntington Beach. JC transfer, played at Golden West Junior College a year ago.
And you can see the game plan that Jim Walden has decided to go with. Very short drops, get rid of the football. That's the second draw they've run. Everything designed to slow that pass rush down, to force those defensive linemen to play the run before they attack that quarterback.
Complete again to Moore. He's inside the 10 to the 9 where Tim James made the tackle. Another Iowa State first down. Will be 1st and goal.
I tell you, this is a great throw. Watch when Tim Moore clears Kanavis McGee. Watch how quickly the ball gets there. There's McGee. There's the football. Kanavis can't react, and Tim James has to come up from the safety position. These are relatively easy throws to make because you've got most of the receptions coming within 8 to 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Moore, 2 early catches. He had 11 on the year. He averaged 20 yards a catch. And the Cyclones, 1st and goal. Here's the pitch to Bryant. Not much room, and he's knocked out at the 10. McGee and McLuhan over to make the stop. No gain.
Iowa State, as we said, averaging over 400 yards of total offense per game. When they line up in the eye and they don't motion someone from the eye, usually it will be Blaze Bryant on either the isolation or the toss, the power toss. It's a team that loves to move people around. They try to confuse the defense. They try to overload you from one side to the other and then let Brett Oberg take advantage of it.
And it's tougher to confuse him inside the 10, isn't it?
Very much so.
2nd and goal. See what Oberg comes up with. He's going to run. He's got room. Down to the 3. McGee and Michael Jones make the stop, or it'll be 3rd and goal from the 3. Michael Jones, 5th all-time on the all-time tackle list for CU, just 4 behind Brian Cabral, who's a CU assistant coach, so he'll jump ahead of Brian today. Big play early in the game. 3rd and goal. The ball on the 3. Handoff to Wilkinson, and it's a touchdown. Very impressive drive by Iowa State as they take it 78 yards. Shudak is on for the conversion. 7:04 to go in the first quarter. Iowa State 7, Colorado 3.
And do you, Michael, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do. I mean, I think I do. I mean,
For everybody who has a tough time making up their mind, Village Inn introduces the Variety Stack. If you want to try new pancakes like double blueberry, or cinnamon apple with raisin, or maybe banana nut, or strawberry and whipped cream, or even whole wheat granola nut.
I do.
Then from now till this day forward, try all 5 new flavors with the Variety Stack at Village Inn. The decision for the indecisive.
You are this far away from being the man who won the war.
A general named Groves. A scientist named Oppenheimer.
You got one job, Doctor. Give me the bomb.
Worlds apart.
I can do it without you.
Well, if you do, and something goes wrong,
Brought together to change the world forever.
3, 2, 1.
Paul Newman, Fat Man and Little Boy. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 20th at a theater near you.
It was a big day when the new equipment arrived.
It's big. Biggest one I've ever seen.
Of course, being a custom job, some assembly was required.
It'll be a few weeks, people.
But finally, it was ready. One of the world's fastest check-writing systems. Some insurance companies look for ways to get your money from you faster.
I hear she'll do $12,000 an hour.
At Aetna, we look for ways to get your money to you faster.
When you've got a great running back like Blaze Bryant, at times it's going to be easy to sneak that fullback through. Here comes Paul Wilkinson. Nice cutback. You can see a good job by Keith Sims at 6'4" and 300 pounds. Really gets up on Michael Jones, the linebacker. That's exactly what Iowa State needed. They hold CU defensively to a field goal, and offensively they score on their first possession.
Well, that one's kind of hard to believe right there, that Iowa State would try.
I'll tell you what. Not that hard to believe. Jim Walden, it's a great move when it works. Jim Walden is a guy that you love to take to Las Vegas with you when you're rolling craps. And when he gets on a streak, of course, you're going to make quite a bit of money. But Walden has forever done things like that. The onside kick, he'll run out of punt formation. He'll try a fake field goal. They'll reverse when it's 3rd and short. This time it doesn't work, and CU comes up with great field position.
Well, he tried the onside kick and failed. CU's got it. 1st and 10 on the Cyclone 44. Hemingway, a big hole up the middle as he rambles down to the 35. Tim Baker, the free safety, made the stop. So Iowa State took it, went 78 yards, and gambled and lost. 10 plays, 78 yards. Very impressive.
Sure was. Again, we said earlier, Iowa State has proven this year that they're able to move the football on just about everybody with a nice mixture of run and pass, and you saw that in the first drive.
Hemingway got 9. It's 2nd and 1. Hagan keeps it. Well, he was hit immediately by Don Edwards, the right tackle.
Buffaloes came into today's contest thinking they could exploit the inside, the interior strength of the Iowa State Cyclone defense. Not very big. Got inside linebackers at about 210, although Mike Shane's an all Big 8 candidate. But you can look for the Buff fullback to get the football more today than he has in the past.
As you look at Bill McCartney, it's 3rd and 1 for his offense. 5:50 and counting to go in this first quarter. 7-3 Iowa State. Hagan pitches to Flannigan. He's got a 1st down. JJ down to the 30, where Jeff Bauer, the strong safety, filling in for the injured Casey Martinez, made the tackle.
This is a play that nobody will remember. They gained 3 or 4 yards.
You're right about that.
The key is if you can run the option attack and you can actually pitch to the halfback when you're 3rd and short, you've really developed the ability to have confidence in all phases of your ground game. You don't have to give it to the fullback. You don't have to sneak the quarterback. You can actually run that pitch and have faith that it'll work 3rd and short.
1st and 10 from the 30. Flannigan running hard down to the 21. Baker and Vondra combined to make the stop. The 9-yard pickup for Flannigan.
Well, give it to the guy that's 9 yards back and let him pick the spot he wants to go. Good block by Muhlenberg up front. You can see Flannigan is some 6 or 7 yards into the secondary before a red shirt gets to him. Just power football. We talked about the offensive line and what a tremendous job they have been doing this year.
2nd and 1. Hagan keeps it and falls down. Back at the 22. Lost a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 2.
Good penetration by Iowa State. That's the key to blowing up any kind of option attack. Get somebody into the gaps and force that quarterback to make a decision. That time, just the rush bounced Hagan back a little bit and he slipped.
Hemingway, Pritchard, and Bieniemy behind Darian Hagan. Here's Bieniemy. He's got the first down. He's down to about the 18. Matt Grubb, the left tackle, hit him first. But Colorado will have a first down inside the 20. Melvin Coleman, who had a couple of tackles on that first drive, is walking off the field, apparently shaken up. We'll check on that. There's Jim Walden, who went for the onside kick. Hagan keeps it. Plenty of room. Touchdown.
Darian Hagan gets the touchdown, but I hope we've got a shot of a terrific block by Mike Pritchard, who has been doing this all year. If you can focus on number 9 and watch him all the way, watch Mike Pritchard, who's out of your screen. You can see he just completely dumps the free safety, Tim Baker, who has to make that play on the quarterback. Thus, Hagan goes untouched into the end zone.
Culbertson is on, and as he has been all year as far as conversions are attempted, he's perfect. 3:38 to go in this first quarter. Colorado back out on top, 10-7.
U.S. West Communications has a question for every small business. When you have a customer on the line, who's to say you aren't missing a bigger one? Call us about adding another business phone line. U.S. West, making the most of your time.
It was late one night in the castle of the Chicken McNuggets.
What are you making?
Sauce. We're using my mummy's recipe.
Mummy,
This better be good.
It'll be great.
Does your daddy have a recipe?
McDonald's presents the Halloween Happy Meal Tales. McWitch, McGhost, McPumpkin too. Now when you buy a Happy Meal, you get one of these beautiful tails to collect all your goodies in. Happy Halloween from McDonald's.
Darian Hagan takes it 18 yards, puts his team back on top with 3:38 to go. Culbertson, the kickoff, and Thibodeau nearly drives out of the end zone. Will down it. Colorado will start defensively against Iowa State at the 20.
The last touchdown. Take a look at the guy right in the middle of the screen, Tim Baker, number 29. Now, he's assigned to Darian Hagan. Watch what happens. Follow number 29. He slides down. Okay, I've got Hagan. I follow Hagan to the sideline. Here comes Mike Pritchard. And this is what happens when you've got guys that do a good job blocking. You've got to have the guys like that in option football. Baker goes down. He knocks one of his own guys down. And Hagan, nobody gets near him on his way to the end zone. Great job by Mike Pritchard.
Brett Oberg has it. 1st and 10 at the Iowa State 20. This one complete to Bryant. David Gibbs makes the tackle at the 25, a pickup of 5. Oberg now is 5 of 5 for 58 yards. He came in 60 of 94. That's 64%. A little over 1,000 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Well, you can see again, getting rid of the football quickly. Blaze Bryant in motion. Colorado does not adjust. Here comes Canavis a little bit late. And you pick up 6 or 7 yards. You're in business on second down.
Bryant makes you miss.
He's got that ability.
3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Glad you're with us. We should have a wild one here in Ames. It's already 10-7. Wilkinson got a first down. Drags Jones across the 30 to the 32. Ron Wilkinson, the fullback, 5'11", 185-pound sophomore out of L.A. 26 carries this year, averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
And again, you can pop that fullback through when you've got a running back like Blaze Bryant. And the ability to throw the ball, the defense has to adjust to too many folks, and sooner or later you can get that fullback for good yards.
First and 10 for Iowa State. Ball is at the 32. Oberg has Bryant, and he slips down at the 38. Bruce Young made sure that he went no further. Oberg does a great job of using the pump fake.
And he also gets rid of the football very, very quickly. Good pass protection up front. Now you've got 5 blocking on 3. CU is going to stay in his own defense for the most part of the day, and they'll give up 6- and 7-yard gains, but they're also giving a lot of confidence to Iowa State early. When you're better than your opponent, you want to make sure, especially on the home turf, that you take away that confidence as quickly as you can. I formation usually has meant run most of the year. Motion.
Second down and 3 from the 39. The delay to Bryant. Nothing there, and Michael Jones makes the tackle. No gain. Michael Jones, one of the team leaders. It's a good look at Blaze Bryant in California. Says he really misses the beach.
I tell you, those helmets mess up that dew.
They do, don't they?
With anybody. Thing sits on your head, you're sweating, you take it off, you got hair going every which way. I bet he does miss the beach here in Ames. No beaches.
No beaches. It's 3rd and 3. Quick pass to the tight end, complete out to midfield. Mike Bush has the reception, his 11th of the year. That's another Iowa State first down as Jones made the stop.
Now this is the option for most of what you've seen early on. He looks to that tight end. This is the first time he's jumped the ball. Got him, boom. Give him the football. The linebacker didn't slide out. Michael Jones a little bit late getting there as they send the man in motion. A lot of options with an offense like this. If you've got a guy that's patient at quarterback and makes the correct reads, this is pretty tough to stop.
Inside of a minute to go in this first quarter. Iowa State, second time they've had it, and they're moving again. There's the pump fake. Got a wide open Bryant, and he dropped it at the Colorado 45, and then took a shot from Bruce Young.
Well, I don't know who took the shot. I'm not sure Bruce would agree with you, but Bruce Young coming up from the safety position, one of the better hitters for the CU Buffaloes, and Blaze Bryant just out in the flat, waiting for the ball. Should I get it? Fine. He's going to get the football a little bit behind him, has to adjust. But now let's see who gets this shot. Young coming up. Ooh. Hello. Just a nice informal greeting here in Ames.
Those two will mean a lot throughout the afternoon. 2nd and 10. Here's the pitch to Bryant. Got some room down the sidelines. Inside the 40 to the 39. Another Iowa State first down. Bruce Young made the stop. And when you run like Bryant, doesn't matter what kind of dew you have.
I tell you, that's exactly right. I tell you what makes this play go. They hook CU inside. Canavis McGee gets knocked all the way down to the center. And Blaze Bryant, great ability. You get him into that secondary, he's going to gain a lot of yards against most people.
As Bill McCartney said, we haven't faced a back like Blaze Bryant yet this year. And I think we're getting a good indication of what he meant here in this first quarter.
He's a high stepper. He's strong enough at about 200 pounds to break a lot of tackles. He's got good speed. Just a very fine football player.
Question now, I think, Dave, with 31 seconds to go in a quarter, how long can Iowa State keep this up?
Offensively, they've been able to do this most of the year. The defense has been the big problem for the Cyclones. and turnovers.
Bryant in motion. Bryant drops another one at the 32. I got a feeling that, I don't mean this in a negative way about Bryant, but he does hear the footsteps when he's out there on pass patterns.
Yeah, that's trying to catch a football with one eye on the ball and one eye trying to find who's going to be there in a couple of seconds. Blaise Bryant, a good receiver out of the backfield. That, believe it or not, is a tough pass for anybody but a wide receiver or a tight end. You ask your running backs, who are not usually great receivers, to run full speed across the defense and catch the ball out in front. A lot of backs will have trouble with that pass.
9 seconds to go in a quarter. 2nd and 10 from the Colorado 39. Bryant, dropped it, and Bruce Young almost picked it off. Rather bizarre play there. We've still got 4 seconds to go in the quarter, and had Young been able to hang on, there was nothing ahead of him except about 60 yards of artificial turf.
You know, I don't think Bruce Young ever saw the ball. 4 receivers to the bottom side of the screen. Take your pick for Oberg. Now, the ball actually hits Blaise Bryant in the chest. Here comes Young. Just at the last minute is able to get a hand on it.
Bryant almost got it back. Bryant's dropped 3. 4 seconds to go in the quarter. 3rd and 10.
High formation.
Pitch to Bryant. Down the sidelines to about the 33. And that'll end the first quarter. Iowa State will have a 4th and about 4 when we return. We played a quarter here in Ames. Colorado out in front, 10-7.
Junior bacon cheeseburger tastes so fine. Wendy's got 7 for $9.99. Chili biggie fries, garden salad to go. Cool frosty baked potato.
Wendy's new super value menu. 7 big items, 99 cents each.
Wendy's got 7 for $9.99.
Now when you purchase a Wendy's special biggie sack of fries, 5 cents will be donated to the Sachem Project, which provides Colorado's needy with medical care. Last year we raised over $26,000. So for mercy's sake, Sachem.
The keys to your new Honda.
Thank you, Jesse.
Who's that? My banker. Mary, enjoy your new Honda. My lawyer, my golfing buddies.
How do you do it, Jesse?
The Honda, they're so well made, and they're #1 in import owner loyalty. So I recommend them to all my friends.
And you'll be happy with the all-new 1990 Honda Accord at Mile High, Empire, Ralph Schomp, Bill Crouch, Classic, Frontier, and Metro.
I'm so happy.
Your friend? My niece.
Again and again, KG Menswear keeps you coming back. He's back for a Hager Wool Blend Sport Coat, tailored in a herringbone weave for everyday wear, only $79.99. He's back for an Imperial by Hager Sport Coat, tailored from 100% wool and classic Shetland patterns. They're just $99.99. KG keeps you coming back again and again and again. KG Menswear, great clothes for everything you do.
The Lotto Drawing, tonight at 10, here on Channel 4.
Jeff Shudak is on as the Cyclones are going to try a 50-yard field goal. This telecast, an exclusive presentation of KCNC and NBC, intended for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast of this telecast without the express written consent of KCNC is prohibited. A 50-yard attempt. And it is good. From 50 yards out, Jeff Shudak has tied it up.
Well, his longest of his career is 55 yards. He's been the all-Big 8 kicker the last couple of years. So, although certainly a good kick, nothing out of the ordinary for Shudak. It's important to get points on the board when you're playing a team that's so explosive. And Iowa State's done a very good job offensively so far in this game.
Haven't wasted any opportunities. 2 times with it, a touchdown and a field goal. Colorado on the first possession got it down to the 30, had a 2nd and 1, and had a couple of penalties, moved it back to a 3rd and 10. Had to settle for a field goal.
The Cyclone offense has done an excellent job taking that emotional edge the CU defense has had for 5 games away. They haven't allowed that quarterback to stand back there and go from side to side and let those big, strong guys up front put pressure on him. They've gotten rid of the football. They've been able to run a couple of draws, and they've really done an excellent job just keeping the CU defense off balance.
Bryant so far 7 carries for 32 yards. Couple of scores to pass along. Mississippi leads Georgia 10-7 second quarter. Pitt leads Navy 10-7 second quarter. Maryland leads Wake Forest 17-7 second quarter. M.J. Nelson will down this one in the end zone. Florida State shutting out Virginia Tech 24-0 second quarter. Brown and Penn are tied at 3 first quarter. Baylor leads SMU 7-0 first quarter. Boston College over Temple 10-0 first quarter. Clemson and Georgia Tech 3-3 first quarter. North Carolina and Virginia 7-7 first quarter. Princeton leads Columbia 7-0 in the first quarter. So Colorado has it 1st and 10 from their own 20. Jim Walden deciding against the onside kick this time. Hagan. A late pitch to Bieniemy, and he's out of bounds at the 23, a pickup of 3. That was the late pitch. Well, he was almost out of bounds when he made the pitch.
That's making a decision and saying, the last minute, here, you take it.
Colorado leading 66-47 on the ground. Iowa State, big lead through the air. It's pretty much what we expected. Although I think CU, in case there was any doubt, now knows they're in a game. 2nd down and 7. Kissick with a hole up the middle, and Eric's out to the 35. Charles Vondra and Melvin Coleman combined to make the tackle.
Good running teams have stubborn streaks. And Iowa State with 9 guys within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage telling you go ahead and throw. CU saying, no, we're going to go ahead and run because that's what we do the best. Eric Kissick, another guy that's been an unsung hero this year. Very, very good blocker. Doesn't care if he ever gets the football, at least not many times. And so you like to see guys like that get a chance every now and then.
On 1st and 10 from the 35. Hagan keeps it, cuts it up. He's got plenty of room. Hagan all the way down inside the Iowa State 40 to the 38, where Larry Radigan, left outside linebacker, made the stop.
Nice job by Hagan on the option, making the correct read. Pritchard looking for somebody. You see the linebacker flood out for the back. Hagan keeps it, ducks it up inside, and that's the trouble when you try to defense a team that is an explosive club. They've got so many options. You can play them good for a couple of downs before you know it, boom, they hit you with somebody else.
28-yard gain by Darian Hagan. Colorado 1st and 10 from the Iowa State 37. Hagan wants to throw it. Looks for a wide open Pritchard. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and down to the 1. Tim Baker, along with Jeff Bauer, saved the touchdown.
I tell you, this is great presence by Darian Hagan. They tried to draw Iowa State offsides. There's no flag on this play. Now Hagan will drop back. He'll look for Pritchard, deliver the football. Mike Pritchard almost drops this ball after he catches it with this little spin move. Now watch this move. Watch the football. Whoa, the football up and down and completely open. That's the benefit of having a great running attack. You're going to get guys in the seams, and nobody's going to be there to cover them because they're trying to stop the running game.
So Hagan 2 for 2 through the air this afternoon. Play action to a wide open Pritchard, and it's a touchdown. He could have thrown to either Kissick or Pritchard. And Pritchard came up with it.
You know, I think this is a play where a fifth-year senior decides, I'm a little bit too deep. This cannot be for me. Eric Kissick supposed to go in the flat on the play and decides as he's in the air, I don't think I should reach for this football. Now, Eric Kissick should go right down the goal line, but he drifts a little bit into the end zone. I say, oh, no, I don't think so. Mike Pritchard, the intended receiver, and a nice catch by Mike. Good drive by CU.
So Colorado back on top. Culbertson is on for the conversion. And he's got it. 13:22 to go in the half. Colorado regains the lead.
Luxury cars cost serious money, so if you're seriously looking, visit your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer first. As a line, the automobiles of Mercedes-Benz retained more of their original value than any other line sold in America during the past 10 years. 10 years. You see, it's not what a car costs, but what it's worth. Take a look at one now.
Visit Murray Imports in Denver, Leo Payne Imports in Lakewood, Crouch Motors in Boulder, or Bob Markley in Greeley.
After 45 years, Colorado's largest carpet dealer is going out of business. Franklin Carpet says we quit. 2,500 rolls, 3,500 remnants, 600 colors. Save up to 70%. Franklin Carpet is going out of business. $11 carpet, now $5.98. $20 carpet, $11.98. Carpet as low as $3.98 a yard. Padding, 58 cents a yard. Miles of room-size remnants. 12 by 9s, $58. 12 by 15s, $98. Financing, delivery, and installation available. Save up to 70% at Franklin Carpet's going out of business sale.
There's a motor oil that talks about world-class protection. Catchy phrase, but Valvoline is recommended by name in the owner's manuals of these world-class cars. The other motor oil is not. Whatever you drive, Valvoline makes the highest quality motor oil recommended by any car manufacturer. Around the world, people who know use Valvoline.
Mike Pritchard with a 1-yard touchdown reception may have banged up his left shoulder a little bit. And I think outside of Darian Hagan, Pritchard would be the one guy that you could ill afford to lose offensively because he does so many things for you.
This is Paul Thibodeau from his 13. Out to the 24.
Now's the time the good defensive clubs will awaken and say, hey, let's get going. This is a pretty good offensive unit. We're standing back waiting for things to happen. Let's close it down a little bit and play like we've played for the past 5 games. On the other side, Iowa State offensively saying, do what we've done. Move them around, send people in motion, be patient. We can move the football.
Moore and Williams are the wideouts. This is Chris Peterson at quarterback, and he's out to the 28. Chris Peterson, 6'2", 217 sophomore. We'll have to check and see as McGee makes the tackle what may be wrong with Brett Oberg. We'll get a report from Mark as soon as we can. We did not know that Oberg was injured. Peterson got 4. Handoff to Wilkinson, and he is nailed by Arthur Walker. No gain. Walker, the senior out of Houston, 6'4", 275 pounds.
And a good job by Walker. That time he beats Keith Sims to the trap block point. When you trap as a pulling lineman, you aim for a point. The first thing that shows in the off-colored jersey you hit, that time Walker beat him there.
So Chris Peterson, who's played very little, is in at quarterback. 2 for 3 on the season. It's the pitch to Bryant. Got a hole across the 30, and Bruce Young with a fine open field tackle at the 31, which is about 3 yards short of a first down.
Well, Bruce Young and Blaze Bryant have met before, and this is how you take down a back that's got great ability to make you miss and yet enough strength to run through tackles. Right on the ankle. Good job by Bruce Young coming up in that safety spot.
This is the first punt of the game. Judge Johnston is on. Jeff Campbell is deep. Johnston 22 punts this year, averaging 42 yards a kick. Campbell is back at his 25. Jeff fumbles the punt, picks it up, and is hit immediately and down at the 25. 11 minutes to go in the half. Colorado has it, and they've stopped Iowa State for the first time today.
At Meineke Discount Muffler Shops, we're proud of the fact that discount is our middle name. And for nearly 20 years, Meineke's been the first name in advertising a discount price. We always figured we were in business to keep cars quiet, not prices. Now the other chain is advertising a price, saying nobody beats them. Well, the truth is, somebody's been beating their price for a long time.
Meineke, the nation's discount exhaust leader. The Denver Nuggets are hot.
Lever out with the ball. Nuggets on the break, 3-on-2. Feed to Alex. Layup. Adams with a three-pointer from about 40 feet. It's good.
Hot.
Nuggets fans, season tickets are available now. Get the same great seat every game. Also, ask about our special 21-game package. For more information, call 893-6700.
Hot. Don't miss the Denver Nuggets.
Colorado has it, 1st and 10 on their own 27. Hagan looking to throw, looking deep for Campbell, and it's incomplete. Andrew Buggs, number 13, the right corner, with good coverage on Jeff Campbell. Let's go to the sidelines and Mark McIntosh.
Thanks, guys. Very interesting decision by Coach Jim Walden. There's nothing wrong with Brett Oberg, but it's just been his policy this year to put Chris Peterson in the ballgame every once in a while, and you wonder why he would do that when Oberg had led his team to 10 points against a very tough Colorado defense, but he's been doing it all year, and he's sticking with what he's got him here so far. Back up to you guys.
What do you think of that philosophy, Dave?
Interesting.
Here's a big hole for Flannigan. Radigan made the stop.
We don't see Iowa State obviously very much, but Oberg off to a great start. Peterson has thrown 3 passes coming into this game. Oberg had thrown 94.
Peterson hasn't played that much.
When you're going good, I see no reason to make a change. And again, we'll defer to Jim Walden because he knows what he's trying to accomplish. Peterson is sophomore, Oberg is senior. But I think that's a tough move to understand.
3rd and 3 for the Buffs. 10:20 to go in this first half. They have the lead, 17-10. Hagan keeps it. I think he's got just enough as Marcus Roberts in the left corner, number 11, made the stop. Pritchard back in the game, by the way, which is good news.
See, this is what kills you defensively. You play pretty good. You stop them 2 or 3 yard gain. Then it's 3rd and 3, and you get a chance to stop them on their own end of the field. You're right where you should be. You're on him, you tackle him, and yet he gets the first down by about a half yard. And thus the drive continues, and now you have to line up defensively and do it all over again and stop all those big plays.
Hemingway across the 40 to about the 43. Mike Shane along with Radigan were on the tackle. About 5 for George Hemingway. It's 2nd and 5. Colorado has had it 3 times. They've scored 3 times. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Flannigan. Well, he was stood up by Matt Grubb, number 93. Got a yard at the most. Make it 3rd and 4.
That's good defense. And along with Grubb, Mike Shane, the all-Big Eight linebacker, able to fill. That's the one phase of the attack, that when you have 8 men in the line of scrimmage, you get a pretty good chance of stopping that isolation to the tailback because it takes a long time to develop, and you've got more bodies in the line of scrimmage than the offensive lineman.
Crowd comes alive on 3rd and 4. Hagan's got protection. He'll throw. And it's complete to Jeff Campbell for a first down at the Iowa State 32.
The mark of a confident quarterback. Darian Hagan, 3rd and 4, could have easily run for the first down. He stays with the play. He's got Campbell coming back to the sideline. This pass is delivered perfectly. This would have been a catch in the NFL. I don't know what the fans are upset about. Both feet in bounds, dragging as Campbell lands out of bounds. But Hagan's a guy that really believes he can get it done throwing the football. You've seen that this year.
Seen it today. He's 4 for 4. Made some very nice throws. From the 32 on 1st and 10. Here's the pitch to Bieniemy. Gets a block from Pritchard. Sets him free. He's inside the 10. Marcus Robertson makes a saving tackle. 20-yard pickup for Eric Bieniemy and a Colorado first down.
Looks like he might have been shaken up. Good quick pitch as the defensive end commits to the quarterback, get rid of the ball. Now here comes Eric Bieniemy. When he decides to turn it up, doesn't matter who's in front. Look at Jeff Campbell knock Andrew Buggs off his feet. Buggs back up in time to get run over by Bieniemy. Loads of fun playing cornerback. You got to fight off the wide receiver, and then you got to make the tackle. Good job making the decision by Hagan. An excellent job by Bieniemy and Campbell as well.
Bieniemy comes out. Flannigan is in. 1st and goal for the Buffs. Here is J.J. Hops inside the 5 down to about the 3. Buggs made the stop.
You get a good look at the push up front by the offensive lineman. Good surge as they take the red shirts back. Flannigan jumps. Nobody there until he gets well into the secondary. Running backs owe a lot to the offensive line, the great ones. You talk about Eric Dickerson. One of the first things he'll always say, hey, I had good blocking up front.
Coleman, Garten, Leuenberg, Muhlenberg. Touchdown, Darian Hagan. And a flag is down back at the 4-yard line. And it looks like this one will come back. Holding on Colorado, and it will.
One of the few mistakes they've made offensively so far. It's going to happen. Let's see if we can see it. The right side of your screen. Tough to see if that's Vanderpool with a body slam, or they call Perrick, or they call Muhlenberg. I'm not sure as to who they would call there.
All I know
we're
is
told that it was Darren Muhlenberg.
Happens every time. You say something nice about somebody, and they get called for a holding.
Some CU fans.
Yep. 2nd and 12 now. Makes it a tad more interesting. Hagan's got it. Keeps it inside the 5. Touchdown.
Just a tad, though.
Just a tad. Darian Hagan. Is this as talented a quarterback as you've seen at Colorado?
He very possibly could be. It's a nightmare for a defense. They hit you with the pass. They hit you with the option. They sneak the fullback through. The quarterback runs to the perimeter. Now the quarterback cuts back once everybody gets going into the flow. It's just a very tough offense to try to come up with some way to stop it.
7:20 to go in the half. Colorado extends their lead. They're out in front, 24-10.
For almost 30 years, we've been delivering to you in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Sometimes we even arrive a little early. So next time, call us, because over 500,000 times tonight, we'll be driving home this hot, fresh fat. Nobody delivers better than Domino's Pizza. Nobody.
If you could live inside a teenager on drugs or alcohol, you'd understand the lack of control.
I can handle it.
The intense pressure.
Everybody does it.
The desperate fear.
Nothing will happen.
And you would know that inside,
I can take care of myself.
He is desperately crying for help.
If you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem, Charter Hospital can help. Call Charter Hospital now. Outpatient services available. If you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
Before your tires show uneven wear, let Midas check your alignment. You see, we're serious about safety.
Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Start the new day with the News 4 Today team. Carlos Amezcua, Jane Hamden, and Ed Green. Every weekday morning at 6 a.m. on News 4.
Tacos to go from Taco Bell. In a 10-pack to go. Wherever you've got a few hungry friends.
Ron Zapolo and Dave Logan back in Ames, Iowa, where Colorado has started to assume control here in the second quarter. As Culbertson kicks it off. This is Lester, Steve Lester, across the 25 out to the 28, where Mike Motley, very active on special teams, along with David Brown, made the tackle.
We told you about the many options they have. Be the cornerback here and wait for Darian Hagan. Hagan ducks behind. Good block by Kissick, Vanderpool, Muhlenberg, and then you add a great athlete at the trigger position.
Hard
tough
stop.
offense.
9 plays, 73 yards. Colorado's had a number of those type drives this afternoon as Brett Oberg is back in the game on 1st and 10. With time, in and out of the hands of Ron Wilkinson. That's about the 4th drop this afternoon for Iowa State.
Well, he dropped the ball. Again, a running back, when you bring him across the defense, you got to slow down a little bit. If you're running 100 miles an hour, first of all, you're thinking, I'm going to get whacked when I catch it. See, no reason to be running fast in there. Just choke it down and present a target for the quarterback. You can make the catch, and then you can also find out where they're coming from. That's the second drop in the same pattern by a running back.
Receivers are wide to the left, the bottom of your screen. 7:10 to go in the half. Oberg marched his team for two scores and then sat out a series. This one he just throws away as Arthur Walker was putting pressure on Oberg.
And they've been successful sending Blaze Bryant in motion. That time, Canavis McGee slid out with him, took that option away. The quick dump to the tight end, the linebacker moved out, and you can see CU defensively really starting to adjust to what the Cyclones are doing on the offense.
Salavea comes out. Number 95, Gary Howe, comes in on 3rd and 10. And Arthur Walker apparently jumped off sides. So that'll make it 3rd and 5.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 3rd down.
Creatures of habit. You get used to that snap count over and over and over again, and then when it's changed, tough sometimes to stay on side.
You know, John Elway has become a master at pulling people off sides. One of the better quarterbacks in the league at doing that. Speaking of Elway, Broncos and the Colts tomorrow at 2 right here on Channel 4. On 3rd and 5. Long count by Oberg. Quick handoff to Wilkinson, and he's going to be short. He's across the 35, maybe out to the 37.
And again, a team of tendencies. When they line up in the I formation, they don't motion out of it. They're going to run the football. That time you saw Wilkinson and Bryant remain behind the quarterback. 5 yards, a lot of yardage to pick up against a pretty good defense.
Looks to me like Iowa State's going to go for it on 4th and 2. Another gamble by Jim Walden. First the onside kick after they led 7-3. Now they'll go for it on their own 37.
You can watch the long snap count trying to draw somebody off as well.
Here's the pitch to Bryant. And he's got a first down across the 40 out to the 42. McLuhan made the stop.
Power toss to a guy. You let him watch the play develop in front of him. He can pick when he wants to make that cut. And he's smart enough to realize that he needs 2 yards. So he turns it up in there and lowers those shoulders and really runs effectively. That's the kind of play defensively that if you can stop it, you take control of the game, complete control.
So that gamble pays off for Jim Walden. Here comes the rush. Oberg steps up, and it's intercepted by Tim James. James across midfield and inside the 40, finally run out at the Iowa State 38.
Well, Oberg, who's been very, very good so far, has a man over. The ball simply sails on him. He got initial pressure here. Must step back inside the pocket. And now you'll see the throw. Tim James right in the middle of the field. Does a good job of catching the football and then picking up some additional yards. That's what you wait for as a defense. When you play zone, you wait for that quarterback to make a mistake because of the pressure. You sit back there and read, and James gets the pick.
There's a good look at Tim James. There was a penalty on Colorado on the return, which will move it back to the Colorado 42.
You know, Oberg last year in Boulder, 16 of 28 for 134 yards, but he threw 6 interceptions.
He's only thrown 3 all season this year. That was his 4th. 24-10 Colorado. They've got it with 5:48 to go in the half. On first down, the option. The pitch to Flannigan. All the way to inside Iowa State territory at the Cyclone 47. That should be enough for a first down. Jeff Bauer made the tackle.
You know, not to belabor a point, but again, Mike Pritchard out in front, taking the Cyclone cornerback about 8 yards deep. Just doing a great job of blocking. And that's what you have to have in this kind of offense. J.J. Flanagan's been a pleasant surprise this year with the way he's been able to run the football.
Had a terrific season. Nice young guy, too. 1st and 10 from the Iowa State 47. Speaking of Flannigan, dips, dives, and ends up with 8 yards. He's inside the 40 to the 39. Tim Baker, free safety, made the stop. Don't forget, at halftime, we'll have a feature on Tim Cech, the CU biochemist, who this week won the Nobel Prize, which proves that when it's going well, it's going well. Even the biochemists are coming up winners at CU. Now, we congratulate Dr. Cech. That's quite an award. 2nd down and 2. Hagan looking for all of it, looking for Pritchard. Touchdown. This crowd is in shock at that one.
I'll tell you why they're in shock, because Pritchard is pretty well covered. When Hagan lets this thing go, he's got 3 guys around him, and this ball is just placed perfectly. Marcus Robertson, I'm sure, felt he had the interception. You can see number 11 come from the outside. And I don't know that when they watch the film that Gary Barnett, the quarterback coach, might not tell Hagan, great play, but next time take the easier throw.
That's right. So with 4:46 to go, CU has assumed control. Don't forget the Bill McCartney show. Looks like Dave and Bill will certainly be in good moods again tomorrow night. The Bill McCartney show at its new time. Don't forget the new time, Sunday at 10:35. Following News 4's late edition right here on Channel 4 in Denver, the home of the CU Buffaloes. 31-10. Mike Pritchard having a big, big first half. You pointed out earlier, Pritchard has really had a terrific year.
Iowa State plays Oklahoma next week. Sooners will have this particular film available to them. And although that will be a tough game, the 28th of October in Norman, I think as a defensive unit, you look at this offense and you're part of the Sooner team, you're not going to get a lot of sleep for the next 14 days.
3 quick second quarter touchdowns by the Buffs have put them out in front by exactly that, 3 touchdowns.
Now, if you're Iowa State, you have to answer the challenge, so to speak. You've got to keep your poise and a certain amount of patience, but you also have to move the football. You'd like to get a score before the end of the half to give your kids some momentum going into the locker room.
This one to Thibodeau. He's across the 20 and a loose football. And it looks like Colorado, yes they have. They've come up with it.
Now, how'd you like to be an official in this pile? pulling guys' arms, legs.
No thanks.
Where's the ball? They've given it to CU.
Oh, yeah.
Two officials have.
They have. They've all given it CU's football at the 26.
That's a backbreaker. How quickly this game has dissipated for the Cyclones. I mean, it was 10-10. It seems like just a couple of minutes ago, the Cyclones hit a 50-yard field goal very much of the game, and now they're staring down a 28-point lead. Should CU score here before half.
4:40 to go in this first half. It has been all Colorado in the second quarter. Hemingway inside the 25 down to about the 23. Don Edwards, right tackle, made the stop.
For the last 2 weeks, Iowa State has had 98 passes thrown at them. And Jim Walden said coming into today's contest, this would be a real test because they haven't been tested on the ground the previous 2 games.
Flannigan with a big hole. JJ, touchdown. There's Eric Bieniemy leaving the field. He may have been shaken up on the last series. We'll try and get a report as Flannigan made it look easy.
This is the kind of play that JJ is most successful with. That lead draw. He's got great vision and certainly terrific speed, and makes a nice move there on Andrew Buggs and just out races everybody to the end zone. Pretty good replacement for a guy that we hope is not seriously injured.
Culbertson maybe leg weary with all the extra points. A low line drive, but it got through. What a second quarter for Colorado. 4:03 to go in this first half. Colorado out in front 38-10. The tragic death of CU quarterback Sal Nessie remains in our thoughts here at KCNC. Sal's family must now cope with not only the loss of a loved one but also substantial medical bills. You can help Sal's family by making a pledge to Points for Sal. Donations will be based on the combined point total of the CU-Kansas game. Pick up your pledge card at any participating Taco Bell. Do your part to keep Sal's memory alive. Give to Points for Sal. 38-10. It was 10-10 early in the second quarter, and CU has scored every time they've had the football this afternoon.
Just got a shot of Jim Walden. All you aspiring coaches, take the next 4 minutes and 3 seconds to, at home, write your speech for the Iowa State Cyclones. What do you tell your kids? Who, by the way, have played pretty good offensively.
Probably what you tell them.
You played pretty good offensively?
Yeah.
Got to hang in there?
I think you tell them you're in there against the juggernaut, and you played pretty well offensively, and let's try and get back to our game plan and
stop throwing interceptions and fumbling the ball.
Yeah, here's Lester across the 20, out to the 23. Colorado is a juggernaut. They're on a mission. They're pumped up. They're talented.
And very focused.
And they're focused.
Well, we said the last drive before they fumbled the kickoff that it was important to go down and get some points on the board. Ditto. Under 4 minutes to go. You'd like the score to give yourself something positive as you head in for intermission.
38-10. Oberg's got it. 1st and 10 on the 23. Quarterback draw. It didn't work. Gary Howe snuffed it out. Tackled Oberg back at the 22. Howe, a junior from Spencer, Iowa.
See, if you're going to run that quarterback draw as an offensive lineman, you turn those guys loose, but you don't turn them loose right from the outset. You've got to block them for a count and a half, 2 counts, and then shove them and go. And that time, Howe danced around his blocker too quickly.
You know, Bill McCartney is on the record as saying he doesn't like the run scores up, and it's obvious the way he plays everybody. He's had a road game where he's played all 60, and we'll see what he does today. Let's go to the sidelines and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you, Ron. Eric Bieniemy has left the field. He's gone into the Colorado locker room. CU trainer Dave Burton has told me he has a bruise on the outside of his right shin and they're going to get an X-ray to make sure he's all right. They don't anticipate any major problems, though, but with the big lead, they want to make sure Eric Bieniemy's okay.
Thanks, Mark, as Bryant has the ball, and he's out to the 25. Howe and Jones combine on the tackle, so with the big lead, there's no sense in taking any chances with Eric Bieniemy. Iowa State will have a 3rd and 8.
And these are the downs that an offense like this, percentage-wise, will not be successful. You can't throw that 3-step drop. You've got to go back and stand in the pocket, and that, of course, allows that rush a chance to get to you.
There's the handoff to Bryant. Across the 30, out to the 34. Young and Gibbs make the stop, but it's a 1st down.
Pretty good play call, to tell you the truth, against a 3-man line. You can slip him on a draw. Blaze Bryant will have a chance to pick up yardage. You know that defensively you're trying to get back in a deep zone. You can see good job up front getting everybody blocked. Bryant dips inside and makes Brown miss. That's what great backs can do. Again, tough to believe that USC and UCLA would pass on this guy. But they are good teams, but certainly they could use a guy like Blaze Bryant, one would think.
Well, recruiting, like many other things, is not an exact science. Blaze Bryant, proof of that, is Oberg. Play action. Looking deep. What a tip, and what an interception by Tim James. An acrobatic pick by Tim James, his 2nd interception this afternoon.
This one had no written all over it when he let it go. Tim James sitting in the middle of the field. He reads Oberg, and he gets a break on the ball. That really is a great play, knocking it up in the air. This is what secondary players work on every day in practice. You knock it up, you adjust to it, and try to catch it. But Tim James playing right on the hash mark, getting a good jump on the football, and a great interception.
So Colorado, with 1:53 to go, has it 1st and 10 on their own 32. They're out in front 38-10. First string still in there. Hagan lofts it out to a wide open Pritchard. Nice move by Mike inside the 50, down to the 48. Tim Baker made the stop. 20-yard gain and a 1st down.
Jeff Campbell, the outside receiver, simply runs off the cornerback, and Pritchard ducks in behind that soft seam. Ball a little bit underthrown, and Mike does a nice job of adjusting.
Mike really having a big first half, as is Darian Hagan, especially through the air. Mike's got more than that 4. That was 4 coming in. Flannigan. Good open field tackle at the 45 by Melvin Coleman, who missed a few series but is back in there. 1:15 and counting to go in this first half. And Colorado takes a timeout. Crowd not happy with that timeout. The boos come smattering down here. Coming up at halftime, Mark McIntosh will have a look at Jeff Madden, the Buff strength and conditioning coach. We'll find out why he's called Mad Dog. Also, Donna Downey will profile NASA scientist, the next Buff lineman Joe Romig, plus all the first half highlights and stats, so stay with us. Do you remember your strength and conditioning coach when you were at the CU?
I never got in the weight room too much, to tell you the truth, but...
I was going to ask you about that. How about with Browns?
Let me think about it. Oh, yeah, Dave Reddy, Nebraska grad. They force you in the weight room.
Let's go down to the sidelines and Bill and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you, guys. You know, the fumble that CU recovered before the last touchdown, it was recovered by number 46, Paul Rose. He normally wears 50, but he had to change his uniform number to 46 because to line up in the backfield on special teams, you have to have a number of 49 or below. So he had to switch from 50 to 46. Back upstairs.
Hagan's pass is complete to John Parrick down at the Iowa State 35.
Boy, Parrick was standing there waving his hands, and I don't think he knew if Darian was going to be able to spot him wide open in the middle of the field.
Has Hagan missed one yet today?
Well, he hasn't missed many. I think he missed Campbell on a long one early that was broken up.
And that's been about it.
Pretty good performance.
1st and 10, the ball in the 36, 59 seconds and counting. Hagan cuts inside, makes a nice move. He's inside the 25 and down to the 20. Jeff Bauer, number 8, the strong safety, made the tackle on Hagan. 49 seconds to go.
He reminds you of those great quarterbacks that Oklahoma has had for years. Gets a good block by a referee. Let's see if he cuts back inside. Vanderpool's out in front. And he just runs through arm tackles. You know, Jameel Holloway used to break so many tackles. This kid breaks a lot of his own.
Flag is down as Hagan throws to Kissick down to the 12, but a flag is down. And now another flag is down. So we may have a couple of penalties as Robertson made the tackle.
I think they got John Bowman late for knocking a Cyclone down. The initial flag, I'm certain, is going to be against CU as well.
So we'll have the always popular offsetting penalties. Oh, they're both on Colorado.
I think they are both.
Well, we'll
on
see.
CU.
There's one on CU. And they're both on CU.
And a dead ball foul. You'll see John Bowman from the right side look somebody up. Ooh. And number 46, Larry Radigan, the outside linebacker, gets dumped late. Not a smart play.
So this one goes way back to the Iowa State 40. Was a late hit by John Bowman.
First down and 30.
First and 30.
Always fun for the offensive coordinator.
Well, let's see what they come up with. Hagan. Throwing for Nelson. That's what you come up with. First down pass for 36 yards and first and goal at the 4.
You know, it's almost too good to be true if you're a CU fan. Believe me, Marcus Robertson has MJ Nelson covered like a blanket when this ball is let go. And MJ just outruns. I mean, look at the coverage. He just runs by the fastest player on the Cyclone team. Now, if you've got your best player as a cover guy, step for step with somebody that usually is not even involved in the offense, you got to feel pretty good if you're Iowa State. Great adjustment to the ball by MJ Nelson. They're knocking on the door again.
19 seconds to go in the half. I'll tell you, if you're a Colorado coach and you're looking at the film and talking to your kids and you're looking at the second quarter,
I might not even show them the second quarter. I mean, I really...
What do you say?
To gain their attention, I mean, there are some things you can point out. Obviously, they haven't done well, but not many.
Not a whole lot.
I mean, you've got Kansas next week. They are already working, believe me, on the Oklahoma game plan for October 28th. And I think one of the reasons you're seeing the diversity today offensively is so Oklahoma has a lot to prepare for when they go to Norman. You don't want to just run the ball all the time. Show them a lot of things and make them prepare for what you've got in your arsenal.
And we got a special announcement too. At I believe Channel 4, it's now official. We'll televise the Oklahoma and Oklahoma State games on a tape-delayed basis. So we're thrilled at Channel 4 to be able to do that, and Dave and I will have both of those broadcasts. Flannigan is into the end zone, and Colorado, with 15 seconds to go in the half, extends their lead. It is now 44-10, and Culbertson is on for the extra point. A minute ago was first and 30. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone.
I tell you, he's made a couple of pitches that the old Globetrotters would have been proud of. He's up in the air. He's flipping the ball left-handed.
Kick by Culbertson is good. It is 45-10. You're going to see a whole lot of folks in the second half for CU.
Watch how he pitches the football. Good fake to Kissick inside, rides him right down the line of scrimmage. I mean, he must have flipped that 12 yards in the air left-handed. I tell you, I don't know what to say about. I guess the good news for the fans here at Jack Trice Field in Cyclone Stadium.
What is that good news?
It's a nice day outside. I mean,
that's one.
They do get bad weather here from time to time. You might as well enjoy the. I'm being serious. I don't know what else they can be enjoying.
It's a great day. It's very pretty here. The trees, the leaves are turning that beautiful golden color. CU cheerleaders doing the push-ups in the end zone for every point that is scored. They're going to get a heck of a workout this afternoon.
Arm wear.
Say, Dave and I always have a ritual. We predict the score like a couple hours before the game, and CU is just about already exceeded. Let's go to the sideline and Mark McIntosh.
Yeah, guys, the fans in the south end zone are having a good time. They are throwing oranges on the field after every CU score, and the players down there are getting pelted by oranges coming from the south stands. There's not many people down there, but they're having a good time.
The squib kick. Iowa State has it covered with 10 seconds to go in the half. They must be shell-shocked over what has transpired. It was 10-10 with 14:30 to go in the first half. It is now 45-10. 5 touchdowns will do that for you. 2 by Pritchard, 2 by Flannigan, 1 by Hagan.
And 2 key mistakes by the Cyclones. They fumble a kickoff return, and Oberg throws a big interception. And against good teams, you can't make mistakes like that.
That'll do it. Fumbled kick, couple interceptions, and you're down 45-10, especially against a team as talented as the Buffs. Oberg will hand this to Bryant. That'll be the first half. As Michael Jones walks off the field, he and his teammates have to be rather pleased with their efforts in his first half. Let's go to the sidelines and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you, guys. Coach, at one time in the second quarter, it was 10-10. Now it's 45-10. Not a bad second quarter.
Well, we got some good breaks there. First of all, even in the first quarter, when they short kicked there, we didn't have far to go. And obviously now we're a lot more relaxed, but it was tough going there in the early going in the first quarter, the way they moved the ball.
Are you surprised Walden removed Brett Oberg and put in Chris Peterson, his backup quarterback?
I don't know why he did that. I don't know what his thinking is, and you know, obviously I can't answer that.
What do we see in the second half? A lot of the reserves?
Yeah, we try to get a lot of guys a chance to play now, and but we're going to challenge them to play hard and play effectively.
All right, Coach McCartney, thanks a lot. Coach Bill McCartney, his team leads 45-10 at halftime. Back upstairs.
Thanks very much, Mark. 45-10 at the half. We'll return to Ames in just a minute.
Anytime after 4 p.m., get a Big Mac, Quarter Pounder with cheese, McDLT, or McChicken sandwich, each for just 99 cents plus tax. The Big 4 after 4, only 99 cents each. Only at Front Range McDonald's and only until October 19th. There's never been a better time to stop at McDonald's.
KG Menswear is lighting up the town during our birthday blowout and sale. Botany Gladiator and Botany 500 suits now $199.99. Hager sport coats only $79.99. Aero solid color dress shirts now $19.99. Levi's Action Slacks now $19.99. And Johnny Carson suits now $169.99. KG Menswear birthday blowout and sale. Be there before you're too late.
You know, I've always said that if I ever changed jobs, I'd go where the action is. So now I'm your happy Honda salesman, and I get to sell the best. Honda is #1 in import owner loyalty, and that means I get to meet one happy customer after another.
Introducing the exciting new Honda Accord for $1990. Now at special introduction sale prices at Mile High, Empire, Ralph Schomp, Bill Crouch, Classic, Frontier, and Metro.
Next. I'm so happy.
The Lotto Drawing, tonight at 10, here on Channel 4.
Ron Zapolo and Dave Logan back in Ames, Iowa. We're at halftime. It has been a second quarter explosion for Colorado. They're out in front 45-10. They had it twice in the first quarter, a touchdown and a field goal. They had it 5 times in the second quarter, 5 touchdowns. And that's 100% scoring every time you have the football. They have not been stopped today.
Well, Iowa State coming in, we knew didn't have a very good defense. They're undersized. But I think the amazing thing about the first half is the ability of CU to, in long yardage situations, execute their offense. And they were 1st and 30 late in the second quarter. 2 plays later, they score. Darian Hagan, again, the key to what they've attempted to do. He makes the option attack go. And so far this year, the astounding thing about Hagan is his ability to throw the football and deliver it on time.
Now, Bill McCartney has made it quite clear he does not believe in running up the score. He may have a tough time keeping it down here in the second half.
Well, you're going to put in Charles Johnson, your second-team outfit, and they've shown the ability to score in the 5 games. I mean, Johnson had a great game last week, so you just try to do the best you can. You probably don't want to throw the ball too many more times. Just run the option attack. And, of course, you want your kids, as Bill McCartney alluded to play hard, your second and third team outfits, because you don't want them to go out there and not play hard. Let them get some work.
Well, they'll get some work in this second half. Let's go down to Mark McIntosh.
Thank you, Ron. You know, right before the season started, CU lost its strength and conditioning coach, Mark Larson. And Coach Bill McCartney had to scramble pretty quick and find a new guy to take over and strengthen up the Buffs. But he got a fantastic man, a guy by the name of Jeff Madden. Everybody around here likes to call him Mad Dog.
I'm right here in the luxurious weight room of the University of Colorado, standing here with Joe Garden. Come on, Joe, don't leave me now. How's it going? Did you get a good workout in today?
Absolutely. With Mad Dog in the weight room, it just makes it an intense atmosphere, so you have to work hard, brother.
Push. Oh, well, Mad Dog's a big, strong guy. Tell you that much.
Who is this guy who's got the Buffs barking? Well, everyone calls him Mad Dog, but his real name is Jeff Madden, CU's strength and conditioning coach.
Unbelievable. That's the word to use, Mad Dog. Unbelievable.
The 28-year-old believes in leadership by example. He pushes the Buffs by pumping weights himself. A lot of weight. Madden has bench pressed 602 pounds. That's about 150 pounds more than offensive guard Joe Garton, the Buffs' strongest man.
It's an inspiration to us. Everybody wants to be as strong as him, so everybody's in here working out, as you can see.
I'm really excited about being here because Coach Max gives me an opportunity to beat myself and get these guys as strong as they possibly can be.
Madden joined the CU staff just before the football season began from Rice University, where he had the same job and the same nickname.
Come off your chest. Come off your chest. Mad Dog started when I was in high school, and they saw my intensity on the football field and see how I knock people around. I love hitting people and love getting in there and getting dirty.
In the interview when he was here, I explained to him, I said, you know, not everybody wants to lift weights. There are going to be some guys that are going to resist you. And I threw that at him and waited for his reaction. He looked at me and he said, Coach, I ain't met the man I can't motivate.
Push.
Madden was an offensive guard at Vanderbilt University back in the early 80s. Later, he played professionally with the USFL's Memphis Showboats before the league folded. The Buffs are bigger and stronger than they've ever been. Madden deserves a lot of credit. The weight room's where it's at. Pumping iron with the top dog.
You know, you got to practice what you preach. And the bottom line, everything is we're working for explosive power here, trying to find a way to win a championship.
You know what I mean?
Madden, by the way, guys, tells me he weighs over 300 pounds. And get this, he wears a size 62 long jacket. Back upstairs.
And he does whatever he wants.
62 long? Well, I can match the long, but the 62 is going to be up to you.
I don't think Jeff has had any sand kicked in his face lately at the beach.
Strong-looking guy.
We're at halftime. Colorado out in front, 45-10.
A financial opportunity from Fred Schmid. If you buy a Gen Air range or a cooktop and wall oven, you'll receive a $100 rebate. Add a refrigerator or dishwasher for another $100 rebate. Purchase all three for a total of $300 in rebates.
Invest it in a mutual fund or perhaps a tax-free municipal bond. Or if you're like most Gen Air investors, you might want something with a somewhat more satisfying return. Gen Air rebates, now at Fred Schmid.
Before you men go on this mission, I'm taking you to the best French restaurant in the city. French food, French food, French food, French food, French food, French food.
Somewhere a small restaurant is missing a big sale.
It was busy.
But U.S. West Communications can keep your small business from missing those big sales.
How about pizza? Yeah!
Find out how to protect those orders from going to the competition. Call U.S. West, making the most of your time.
Hi, Carl Mecklenburg for Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda. Remember, for every new vehicle sold, $100 is given to the Sachem Project. Thanks to your tremendous response, we've raised over $10,000.
Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda.
Specializing in subjects important to you. Developing sources for exclusive information. Understanding the facts for meaningful answers. Knowing the beat so you'll know the story. The Specialists, only on News 4, where news comes first.
Bringing Coloradans the story first. That's the idea behind the Eyewitness 4 network. Volunteers helping us expand our reach. When you see a story happen, dial #4SEND with your U.S. West cellular phone. The Eyewitness 4 network on News 4.
Well, it feels great.
He's cause for celebration across Colorado. Tom Cech's revolutionary research has won a Nobel Prize. It's a first for CU, a first for Colorado.
Well, it really represents the culmination of a lot of work that we've done over the years. It's the sort of the final recognition.
In the early 1980s, Cech stumbled across a discovery that would change history, would rewrite textbooks, would make the CU chemist world famous. Cech found that genetic material, known as RNA, can work as an enzyme. The discovery has helped scientists better understand how cells work and could someday help fight viruses. Here on campus, everyone's celebrating. The students, the faculty, the administrators, everyone's really proud of their prize-winning professor.
Thank you.
I've been here 25 years, and I don't remember a greater week for the University of Colorado at Boulder. Opening our renovated theater, Tom Cech gets the Nobel Prize, football team's doing great work. We feel good about the whole thing.
CU administrators realize this kind of world-class recognition attracts research grants, scientists, and students. But winning a Nobel Prize also brings other rewards.
Now I see what the real benefits are. Jim Corbridge just handed me 4 tickets to the Nebraska game. So whether that's easier to come across than the Nobel Prize or harder, I don't know.
As a Nobel laureate, Cech will split a cash prize of $469,000. Cech splits it with CU Medical School graduate Sidney Altman, who's now working at Yale University. Cech says his wife and 2 daughters will have no trouble helping him spend the winnings. But for now, chemistry professor Tom Cech is looking forward to returning to his lab at CU Boulder, returning to what he does best. On the CU campus, Steve Daniels, News 4, Boulder Bureau.
We'll return to Ames in just a minute.
It's one thing to love a luxury car the day you buy it. But later? Yet just last year, more Mercedes-Benz owners said they would buy another than the owners of any other make sold in America. That kind of loyalty says a lot about the way it feels to own a Mercedes and the care you will get from your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Take a look at one now.
Visit Murray Imports in Denver, Leo Payne Imports in Lakewood, Crouch Motors in Boulder, or Bob Markley in Greeley.
Subway bakes my bread up fresh, and that's my way. I get a combo seafood club the best way, my way. Subway, they make my sub in front of me, just the way it ought to be. It's fresh, it's hot, I know I got it my way. Subway, my way, 'cause nothing tastes better than Subway, my way. Subway, the sub we make together at Subway.
The Denver Nuggets are hot.
Lever out with the ball. Nuggets on the break, 3-on-2. Feed to Alex. Layup. With a three-pointer from about 40 feet. It's good.
Hot.
Nuggets fans, season tickets are available now. Get the same great seat every game. Also, ask about our special 21-game package. For more information, call 893-6700.
Hot. Don't miss the Denver Nuggets.
Ron Sapolo and Dave Logan back in Ames, Iowa, where it's 45-10 at the half. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Culbertson's field goal gave CU the lead, but Oberg drove Iowa State down and gave them the lead.
And at this point, it looked like it was going to be an offensive shootout with Wilkerson scoring the first touchdown for Iowa State.
But then Darian Hagan took him on a 7-play, 44-yard drive.
Good blocking up front. Hagan untouched into the end zone.
That made it 10-7. A Shudak 50-yard field goal tied the game at 10 early in the second quarter, and from that point on, an avalanche for Colorado. We'll start it with Hagan.
Good job by Vanderpool, sealing down inside along with Darren Muhlenberg, and Hagan just cuts back to the interior of the defense, and another touchdown.
That made it 24-10. He did it through the air as well.
That is a fine throw in a situation where there's pretty good coverage. And great concentration on the ball by Mike Pritchard as he catches it through Marcus Robertson's hands.
That made it 31-10. Then J.J. Flannigan took over.
Flannigan scampers through. Nice little move right here. Ducks behind Buggs, and when he gets to that position, few guys in college football can catch it.
That one made it 38-10. Flannigan scored again, and it was 45-10.
Great pitch by Hagan up in the air. About 10 yards to the outside. Flannigan easily to the touchdown area.
Quite a second quarter for Colorado. We're at halftime. We're a few minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll be back to Ames in just a few minutes.
I got a phone call this morning from one of our oldest customers. He fired us. After 20 years, he fired us. Said he didn't know us anymore. I think I know why. We used to do business with a handshake, face-to-face. Now it's a phone call and a fax. Get back to you later. With another fax, probably. Well, folks, some things got to change. That's why we're going to set out for a little face-to-face chat with every customer we have.
But Ben, that's got to be over 200 cities.
I don't care. Thanks.
If you're the kind of business that still believes personal service deserves a lot more than lip service, welcome to United.
Larry.
Lewis. That's the way we've been doing business for over 60 years.
Ben, where are you going? To visit that old friend who fired us this morning.
United. Come fly the friendly skies.
There's a whole new market of customers out there on the horizon in nearby towns, and U.S. West Communications can bring them closer to your business. Buffaloes, and we'll tell you how our regional calling services let out-of-town customers feel like you're right next door. U.S. West, making the most of your time.
Today's game is brought to you in part by your Denver area credit unions, where you find answers to your financial questions. By KHOW AM 630. And by these proud companies for Colorado. Remax, take a step above the crowd. IBM, working in Colorado for Colorado. And Samsonite, our strengths are legendary.
Let's go down to the sidelines now, and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you very much, Ron. You know, the Buffs are one of the most exciting teams in the country this year. Bowl Scouts would love to have CU in their bowl. Of course, all the CU fans want them to go to the Orange Bowl in Miami. But with me here today is Warren Goodrich of the board of directors of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl down in Phoenix. And Warren, quite an impressive football team.
This is really an awesome demonstration. You know, when you have a team like this with a great deal of talent and experience and dedication, that's an awfully tough combination to beat.
What do you think of Darian Hagan?
He's tremendous. How rapidly he has filled in for the Buffaloes is a very pleasant surprise, I'm sure, for all your fans.
Of course, the Buffs are talking Orange Bowl, but things could work out where they did not go there, and Phoenix would be a great place for CU to play if they don't go to the Orange Bowl. It's close to Denver.
We'd love to have the Buffaloes in Phoenix. Of course, we followed the Buffaloes before. A great many Coloradans in Arizona, and we know we'd have a good traveling population with the Buffs, too.
The Fiesta Bowl's come a long way in 10 years, hasn't it?
Well, we're still a teenager. This is going to be our 19th bowl. And, of course, we've had 2 national championships now within the past 3 years. You have to be lucky to do that, too. But we're very proud of our accomplishment.
Thank you very much. Warren Goodrich of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl here watching the Buffs, and they're rolling at halftime 45-10. Back upstairs.
Thanks very much, Mark. Let's take a look at a few halftime numbers that may in some way tell the story of what CU has done here in this first half, and it has certainly been impressive, if nothing else. You see first downs, they have them doubled. Look at the yards rushing, and maybe more importantly, the yards passing.
And maybe more importantly than that, the total yards. CU has averaged 489 total yards this year per game, and they're certainly well past the halfway mark.
CU with more penalties, but it certainly hasn't bothered him. The big stat, 3 turnovers, 2 Tim James interceptions, a fumble recovery by Paul Rose. CU has not turned it over. So it's 45-10 at the half. Dave and I will be talking about a number of different topics in this second half. The kick. Down by Lester in the end zone. Who do you like in the World Series, by the way? Starts tonight?
Yeah, I like the A's.
Do you?
I think because of that pitching staff. Although I think it could be a pretty good series. Giants have some very capable hitters. Just ask the Cubs about Will Clark.
Absolutely.
But I don't like the Giants starting staff nearly as much as the Athletics, so I'll favor Oakland.
Yeah, I like the A's, too. Possibly in 4 games.
A possible sweep.
Yeah, I really believe that.
You, of course, will be held accountable.
Oh, I am. As you are every day. We shall see. It may go 5, but I have 4 or 5. On 1st and 10 on a delay, this is Bryant. Across the 20 to about the 22. Let's go down again to Mark McIntosh.
Got some discouraging news for Buff fans. Eric Bieniemy went in right before halftime. We thought it was just a bruise on his right shin. Well, it ends up being he has broken his right fibula. And talking to Dave Burton, the CU trainer, he says he's for sure out for a week, but they believe they might be able to put him in a splint, and he might be able to get back before the regular season is over at Kansas State. But Eric Bieniemy has broken his fibula in his right leg. Back upstairs.
Well, that is just terrible news as Oberg hits Wilkinson. He's out to the 23, and that certainly casts a shadow over what has otherwise been a fun morning and early afternoon here in Ames. A broken fibula, that's going to be very tough to come back from, Dave. From what I know, a little bit that I know about that's an injury that could put you out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you hate to lose a guy like that with Oklahoma and Nebraska. Oklahoma State coming up. They do have a very capable backup in Flannigan, but you just hate to lose that leadership and just the great athletic ability that Bieniemy has given this team.
Oberg throws to Bush. He's got a first down across the 30 out to the 33. Mike Motley made the stop. CU with their second-team defense on the field.
Well, this is the concept they've used the entire day. When that tight end is uncovered because of the motion man and CU doesn't adjust quickly with the inside linebacker, that's the first read for Brett Oberg. Mike Bush has got a couple of passes on that very same play.
I'm watching Eric Bieniemy. He's on crutches as he is limping back down the pavement on his way to the field. He's in a T-shirt, and you can see his left leg even from here. Bryant. And there he is. Hansen made the tackle, and you can see his leg bandaged.
I guess if there is good news, it's that Bieniemy didn't tear up a knee, didn't tear up an ankle that would require surgery. Broken bones usually will mend just fine, and Bieniemy certainly will be okay. But the bad news is you lose him, great runner, at a crucial time of the season in the next couple of weeks.
Oberg with time. Throws it out, complete. Across the 40, out to about the 42. To Steve Lester.
It all starts with good pass protection. Iowa State doing a good job of keeping white jerseys away from Oberg so he can look to several receivers. Just take what the defense gives you. That's what most offensive coordinators will tell their respective quarterbacks. Don't force the ball. They give you that back, take the back. We'll line up and have another shot at it.
1st and 10 for Iowa State. They have it on the 44. Sorry, that was 3rd and 1, excuse me. And Oberg took it over himself for a first down. It was 3rd and 1. I would say this puts J.J. Flannigan. The spotlight will be on J.J. Flannigan.
And I think Flannigan will play well, but the bad thing, it really takes away from the depth at the one position they've been very deep at. Now, who you have behind Flannigan becomes the key, because should something happen to J.J., you're down to your 3rd running back.
I think you're looking at Matt Bell.
Matt Bell, the freshman.
Oberg fires over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Troy Moore. It was off his fingertips. I know Bill McCartney told me after the Washington game, he says, we really have a lot of depth, and you know, we can afford injuries at the skill positions. He said the one thing he was worried about was the offensive line, where they didn't have the same type of depth.
Yep, and the defensive line.
That depth will now be put to the test with the news that Bieniemy has a broken right fibula. 2nd and 10. Here's Bryant. Well, what a job as he was handled on the line of scrimmage by Greg Beaker, the redshirt freshman from Longmont.
Aside from Bieniemy being injured, Mike Pritchard is also out of pads, sitting on the bench. Thought that he may have bruised his shoulder, but Pritchard is done for the afternoon as well.
Mike just may be tired from all the touchdowns.
I hope you're right.
It's 3rd and 11. 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Iowa State with it on their 45. 45-10 Colorado. Here comes the rush. Oberg just does get it off to Bryant, and he is wrapped up by Beaker at the 46. Pickup of 1, and Iowa State will have to punt.
This is good coverage in the secondary. CU again, 3-man rush. You drop 8 into the zones, and you force that quarterback to pick the guy he wants. Beaker does a nice job of closing on the football once the quarterback is flushed out of the pocket.
Judge Johnston on to punt. Dave McClellan is deep for the bus. Pretty good punt by Johnston. We're going to down this inside the 10. So CU will take over. They'll mark it at the 11.
I think a smart move right now by Bill McCartney. He's got Matt Bell in the game, as well as some of the second stringers. Keep J.J. Flannigan out of it and let the youngster get a lot of good work.
Let's go down to Mark McIntosh.
Thank you, Ron. We're here with Dr. Wayne Gershoff, the CU team physician. Tell us about Eric's injury.
Well, he got hit with a helmet on his lower leg and put a crack in the fibula bone. There's smaller 2 bones in the shin.
Is it serious?
Not real serious, but it's going to certainly hold him out for at least a couple of weeks.
When do you think realistically he might get back?
Well, we're hoping he might be okay by an Oklahoma game, but definitely by Nebraska.
All right, Doc, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Dr. Wayne Gershoff, CU team physician, back upstairs to Ron and Dave.
Thanks, Mark. That is good news in the sense, Dave, that that Dr. Gershoff sounded very confident that Bieniemy would be back by the Nebraska game.
Well, again, you hate to see anybody get hurt, but if you're going to get hurt, better to have a broken fibula and evidently not a bad break, as opposed to a torn up knee, a cruciate ligament, something that would take you nearly a year to recuperate from.
There is Charles Johnson, sophomore quarterback out of Detroit. CU with all second string people now in the ballgame. Henry and Nelson the wide receivers. Bowman the tight end. Matt Bell. Johnson with time. Throws to Bowman. Breaks a couple of tackles. Runs hard across the 30 out to the 34 with Jeff Bauer. Makes the stop. That's a first down for Colorado.
Charles Johnson buys some time by rolling out and then does a pretty good impression after John Bowman catches the football of Ralphie. Breaks a tackle. Takes a couple of Cyclones for a small ride. Charles Johnson's been impressive in his play as well.
Michael Simmons in the ball game. Simmons, Kissick, and Bell, the backs. Johnson keeps it, cuts it up to the 37. Matt Rayberg, the left defensive end, made the stop. 8 minutes to go in this third quarter. Colorado 45, Iowa State 10. So bad news that Bieniemy is hurt. Good news that it will not be a season-ending injury.
That's right.
It's the handoff to Bell. Nice hole. Bell into Iowa State territory. Bell down the sidelines. And he's out of bounds at the Iowa State 21. Matt Bell, the redshirt freshman from TJ.
Pretty good way to break into the lineup. The impressive thing about this run is Matt Bell's ability to keep his balance. Come through on the counter, following good blocking. Now, right here, he's almost knocked off his feet, but able to gather himself, and then he's got great speed down the sideline. Looks like he lost the ball and then just kind of ran out of bounds.
Matt had 60 yards in 19 carries. 7 yards was his longest carry, so.
You can see him. He was headed in one direction and couldn't get himself steered to the left a little bit. Just ran out of room.
1st and 10. Kissick. Wrapped up at the 20. Travis Block, number 65, made the stop. Kissick, the only starter in the game for Colorado. Here's Bell. Grabbed by the shirt by Melvin Coleman and pulled down at the 20. It'll be 3rd and about 8.
That's one of the differences between an Eric Bieniemy, a J.J. Flannigan, and a Matt Bell. Bell at 5'8", about 180 pounds. Maybe he doesn't possess the kind of strength that Bieniemy has. He's able to pull away, and he breaks a lot of tackles. And I think Bell will become stronger as he plays more. But that's one of Eric Bieniemy's big assets.
Johnson throwing to Hemingway. He's got it, and he's got a first down. It's 1st and goal inside the 10. Coleman made the tackle. For Hemingway, only his 3rd catch of the season.
Good job of ball faking right there to Bell, and Johnson gets rid of the football. It's Iowa State with a number of guys right in the line of scrimmage. George Hemingway, the former tight end, who was converted last year, caught a touchdown pass against Oklahoma.
Ariel Solomon, Russ Heasley, Greg Gould, all in the game up front for Colorado. Johnson's got it, keeps it inside the 5 and down to the 4 with Tim Baker, the free safety. Stop Johnson. Johnson, 14 carries for 113 yards coming into today's ballgame. Five and a half minutes to go in this 3rd quarter, which has gone by rather quickly. CU keeping it on the ground. Here's Bell to about the 3, where it'll be 3rd and goal. Bieniemy, Flannigan, Bell, Kissick, Hemingway, and Simmons have gotten the work this season from the tailback and fullback positions. Kind of tough homecoming when you're down 45-10 with 4:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Johnson's got it, and he's pulled down from behind. He was slowed up by Dan Watkins. Had a hold of a jersey and slowed him up enough to make the tackle.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Michael Simmons get a lot of work at tailback in the next game or so. Simmons proved to be a pretty good fullback a couple of years ago. They moved him back to tailback, and he gives them a lot of veteran ability if something should happen to J.J. Flannigan.
4th and goal as the Buffs will go for it. Matt Bell is up and over for a touchdown.
Nice job up front by the CU offensive line, and a terrific job by Matt Bell just sensing the goal line. Watch him thrust himself into the air, and unless you meet him right at the top, you're going to catch him in the end zone. Nice drive and good production by second-team guys getting a chance to play.
CU has yet to be stopped today. They have scored every time they've had the football. The hold by Campbell. The kick is up and good. 3:56 to go in the 3rd quarter. Colorado 52, Iowa State 10.
Imagine if you were legally blind, and this is how much you could see. Now imagine you are one of 80% of the legally blind people like little Jessica, who could recover usable sight if there were enough money. Now you can see why the United Way supports the Colorado Optometric Center, and why you should support Mile High United Way again this year.
Driving down the highway, always on the move. When you're driving with Big A, you know the road ahead is smooth.
Wherever you see the red, white, and blue Big A sign, save big on complete auto parts for all cars. Our huge Oktoberfest heart sale will continue through November 30th.
Riding with Big A, you know the road is running smooth.
Big A, the first letter in auto parts.
At McDonald's, we get free movie passes for fabulous new releases at United Artists Theaters.
Cut! Give me drama! Tension! Again!
Darling, free movie passes for United Artists Theaters.
Cut!
Visualize with me. Buy any large sandwich combo with any size fry and a large Coke. Get a 2-for-1 movie pass. Give me passion!
You, me, McDonald's, now!
People, no fire!
Culbert's in the kickoff. Colorado out in front by 42. This one high and deep. and Thibodeau will down it in the end zone. Broncos and Colts tomorrow at 2 here on Channel 4. How do you look at that one?
I think it could be a tough game for Denver. I think Eric Dickerson and the Colts offense will certainly test the AFC leaders in giving up the least amount of yards against the rush. I think that will be a test for the Bronco defense. And I'm waiting for the Bronco offense, realizing they're 4-1, but I'm waiting for them to get on track a bit. Maybe tomorrow, pretty good opportunity against a team that doesn't have great cover guys.
Well, of course, been a source of controversy. The Broncos and their head coach feel the offense is doing just fine. Other people concerned about it as Oberg hits Wilkinson on first down. He's out to the 28. An 8-yard pickup. Hannah and Chad Brown, along with Dwayne Davis, combined to make the tackle. I think the Broncos will be in for a struggle tomorrow. I think they'll win, but I think it'll be close. I think Dickerson will get his yards, and there'll be one down in the trenches. I think it'll be a very tough, hard-hitting, physical, low-scoring ball game. 3:20 to go in the third quarter. Bryant and Oberg, quarterback in the back, starters still in there. Bryant to the 30. Should be enough for a first down. Marcellus Elder, the 6'6", 285-pound freshman from Long Beach, made the tackle. How many of these did you have on your couple of good years? Did you have a lot of these blowout type 58, 59 to 10? I mean,
you know, I don't remember scoring that many points, to tell you the truth. Back in 72 or 75, those were the two best teams. We've mauled a few people, but not on a consistent basis. That's what this team is doing.
You had a heck of a team in 75. Oberg with plenty of room. Now he just tries to get out of bounds, and he does at the 41. That'll give Iowa State another first down with 2:39 to go in the third quarter.
Maybe what Brett Oberg does the best is just this. When something breaks down, he's got good enough athletic ability and terrific speed for a quarterback. Just outruns the defense, gains a first down, gets out of bounds, stops the clock, and you got to have that ability. If you're going to throw the ball as much as Iowa State does, it's nice to have a quarterback that when things break down, he can still make something positive happen.
Well, if Jim Walden wants to get Chris Peterson some experience back there, now's probably the time. They're down by 42. Oberg steps up, fires, incomplete, in and out of the hands of John Glotfeldy, the junior from Ames.
This ball died. The nose of the football took a dip. It was almost like a knuckleball when Glotfeldy tried to catch it. Former quarterback himself. Oberg ran around just before he crossed the line of scrimmage and didn't get much on that football.
Not too many folks have left the Cyclone Stadium here. Most of the big crowd is still on hand. Second and 10. Oberg dumps it out. Complete to Lester, and he's gang tackled. Hannah was there. Motley up off the pile. Elder was there.
Well, Steve Lester's a wide receiver, has been hurt the last couple of weeks, and when you see the hit he takes, I'm not sure he's glad he's back in action this week. Nice move here, ducks back inside, but here comes Brown, here comes Motley, and here comes Greg Bickert. Linebackers have a tendency to follow that football pretty closely.
3rd and 3. Ball on the 48. Lester and Moore wide to the left, Glotfeldy to the right. This is Bryant, and he's got a first down into Colorado territory at the 48.
One back offense, you give it to the guy and let him pick and choose his spots. It was a good job. Pretty good blocking up front. You see Motley being blocked to the outside by Steve Lester. Important, I think, for a second-team defense to create some unity of their own. Didn't play very well against Washington. Bill McCarty was upset with that. They come back last week and play pretty good against Missouri. can establish your own identity with guys you practice with each and every day.
On 1st and 10. Oberg dumps it out to Lester. Lester, a big leap. He's inside the 30 down to the 28, where he's brought down by the freshman Doug Adkins.
Well, they list Steve Lester as a wide receiver, but he's playing a lot of running back. Pretty good job there of just going for the extra yards.
Less than a minute now to go in this third quarter. We'll get you some scores here in just a minute. Oberg takes it down inside the 25. Chad Brown makes the stop. First quarter, Nebraska 23, Missouri nothing.
In Columbia.
In Columbia. So Nebraska rolling along just like CU. Third quarter, Mississippi and Georgia tied at 10. Third quarter, Pitt leads Navy 27-7. Third quarter, Maryland out in front of Wake Forest 24-7. Here's the pitch to Bryant. Cuts it inside. He's down to about the 21. Howe and Motley combined to make the tackle.
You know, good cutback runners sometimes will have a tendency to cut back too soon. That was the case there. Blaze Bryant had to hit it up in there, had some good yardage in front of it.
We played three quarters here in Ames. It's all Colorado. They're out in front 52-10.
When you're getting ready to buy or sell a home, there's no substitute for experience. The RE/MAX experience gets you moving. RE/MAX sales associates average twice the experience of other full-time real estate agents. That's one reason RE/MAX associates average 3 times as many sales. When you're looking for experience, look up to RE/MAX.
Welcome to Garcia's.
Ooh, this is great. This is fun. Don't you love this stuff?
We'll see.
This is great. This is fun. Don't you love this stuff?
We'll see.
Garcia's. Great food, great times, and best of all,
Your check, sir.
Oh.
this won't spoil the fun.
This is great. This is fun. Don't you
Love this stuff?
Garcia.
6 locations, including Denver Tech Center, Cherry Creek, and Boulder.
Some things work great together. Others don't. But the taste of Kentucky Fried Chicken and Corn is a natural. Right now, enjoy the great taste of chicken and corn and all the fixes for just $2.49. 2 pieces of juicy chicken, a tender cobblet of corn, mashed potatoes with gravy, and a fresh buttermilk biscuit. Just $2.49. There's only one place for that original recipe chicken taste. Kentucky Fried Chicken, for the great tasting combination of chicken and corn.
Cross the road, Jack. Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken got more.
Cross the road, Jack.
You're watching Colorado's news channel, KCNC-TV Channel 4, Denver.
Just what I'm talking about the last play. Blaze Bryant, stay behind 54, Trent Van Hoosen. See him cut back? He's got big yards if he stays to the outside. Sometimes when you're used to always breaking it back against the grain, you have a tendency to do that a little bit too much.
3rd and 2. Wilkinson. The ball is loose. CU's got it. Let's see how they rule it. Wilkinson got the first down, but
I'll tell you what, an official got knocked down.
Yeah.
The guy's going down everywhere.
I think they're giving it to Colorado. Scott Hanna picked up the loose ball. There's a discussion now, and we'll have to wait. It is Colorado football.
I'll tell you what, it's dangerous to be wearing a striped shirt. You got guys coming from every direction. Sometimes you just like to find a place to sit down. Let's see if we can see it. The official will be on the left side of the screen. Wilkerson breaks up inside. The ball's free. Now watch the official from the left side. Gets knocked out. Oh! Just a glancing blow, as they would say.
Yeah, glancing when you're not involved in it.
I suppose that's true, yes.
He was wiped out by tight end Craig Mahoney. So CU has it here to start the 4th quarter. Hand off to Bell. That's all the way out to the 29. Brought down by Larry Radigan with help from Mark Dubrava.
Good to see Matt Bell get a chance to play and gain some valuable experience. He's just going to get better and better to give him a chance.
J.C. Orvis, number 36 in the game for Colorado. This is Tony Senna out across the 30 to about the 33, and it is a first down. BYU out in front of Colorado State 19-0 in the second quarter. $14 minutes to go in the game. Here's Matt Bell, and he's hit immediately as a flag is thrown.
It's going to be a hold, too, I believe.
Dean Ehlers, number 48, made the tackle.
And he made it as he was being held, I think. Ehlers has had some big games for Iowa State. Really played well against Minnesota here 3 or 4 weeks ago.
A few more scores. Florida State shutting out Virginia Tech 41-0 fourth quarter. Penn leads Brown 17-16 third quarter. Baylor at the half out in front of SMU 21-3. The Boston College Eagles lead Temple 22-7 third quarter. Georgia Tech leads Clemson 23-6 third quarter. Virginia out in front of North Carolina 36-10 third quarter. Princeton shutting out Columbia 24-0 third quarter. Ohio State 28, Indiana 14 second quarter. Here's Matt Bell. He's back to the 30.
Big game for John Cooper and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coming off last year 4-6-1. That very un-Buckeye-like and not acceptable in Columbus, I can guarantee you.
How about this one? Florida leads Vanderbilt 27-3 second quarter. So without Galen Hall, they winning today. Illinois leads Purdue 7-0 first quarter. Minnesota leads Northwestern 7-0 second quarter. Iowa out in front of Wisconsin 7-0 first quarter. Charles Johnson kept it himself and got to the 34 where Charles Bondra, number 37, made the stop. CU keeping it on the ground and making that clock continue to roll. It's 3rd and 11, and as Bill McCartney has said, he is doing his level best to hold the score down. Here's the reverse. This is Mark Henry. Cross midfield to the Iowa State 46. Sean Walker made the tackle on Henry. Henry, a sophomore from Fleming, Colorado.
When you can establish the running game as they've done, you got to get guys flowing to the football. Everybody in a red jersey doing their best to get to the right side of their defensive line. You can see Henry, nobody around him. Cyclones doing a good job of really keeping that one from a big gainer.
From the Iowa State 46, Matt Bell. He's to the 42. Mike Shane and Sean Walker make the tackle. Let's go down to Mark McIntosh. Mark.
Thanks, Ron. As you know, we talked to the Fiesta Bowl earlier, and we went up in the press box, and we were trying to track down the Orange Bowl representative to get his views of the Buffs. But guess what? He's already left. He's seen enough today of CU's awesome power. Back upstairs.
Lucky guy, that Orange Bowl representative. Johnson. The pitch to Bell. He's down to the 35. Dave Ader, number 22, senior corner, made the stop. We got an injured man.
Dean Allers.
It is Dean Allers. 11.5 minutes to go in the game. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Colorado has it on cruise control.
Talent
and Charlie with KHOW meteorologist Paul Potter.
KHOW's Weather Track Center is awesome. I mean, check these radar screens.
Must be great for their video games.
Charlie, Paul is Denver's most accurate weather forecaster.
I'll bet you $5 he just looks out the window.
Watch for sudden storms and lightning today.
Sure, like those 6 inches of partly cloudy we had last weekend.
Even I could only take so much of Charlie.
Listen to Hal and Charlie with Paul Potter's Weather Track forecast.
Paul says it's going to clear.
Mornings on KHOW 63.
You know, I've always said that if I ever changed jobs, I'd go where the action is. So now I'm your happy Honda salesman, and I get to sell the best. Honda is #1 in import owner loyalty, and that means I get to meet one happy customer after another.
Introducing the exciting new Honda Accord for $19.90. Now at special introduction sale prices at Mile High, Empire, Ralph Schomp, Bill Crouch, Classic, Frontier, and Metro.
Next, I'm so happy.
Before you men go on this mission, I'm taking you to the best French restaurant in the city. French food, French food, French food, French food, French food, French food.
Somewhere a small restaurant is missing a big sale.
It was busy.
But U.S. West Communications can keep your small business from missing those big sales.
How about pizza? Yeah!
Find out how to protect those orders from going to the competition. Call U.S. West, making the most of your time.
Tony Senna, number 30, picking the first red jersey he comes to, and it's Dean Allers, but one of his own men rolls over the back of his leg. That looks gruesome, but we're happy to announce that Allers got up, jogged off the field, and apparently is okay.
Johnson hands it off to Senna. He's inside the 30. Mark Dubrava, number 25, made the stop on Tony Senna. There's Ehlers over on the bench.
Good hard-nosed player. He's stepped in when other linebackers have gone down with injury. Jim Walden said he plays hard all the time. A lot of action around that linebacker position, I'll tell you.
We're going to get home tonight in time to watch some of that Notre Dame Air Force game, like many of our viewers will be. Good luck to the Air Force.
Absolutely. I think they can hang in there with Notre Dame. I really do.
It'd be tough to beat them, but for a while, I think they can stay with them. This is Matt Bell. Bounces outside, breaks a tackle inside the 20, down to the 16. Of course, not as important, but you want to see D. Dowis have a big game and, you know, keep his Heisman Trophy candidacy alive, and a big game would certainly do that.
Matt Bell was a great player, and Thomas Jefferson, right out of Denver, get those happy feet. Breaks tackles. Dave Eater, the cornerback, tried to come up. Bell just shook him off and continued toward the goal line.
Happy feet.
Those great backs, they all have happy feet. The feet go every which way, and you just can't seem to grab something to hold on if you're trying to tackle them.
Here's Bell again. Not much that time. Down to the 13. Dave Ader, along with Mike Shane, made the tackle. Who do you think's the greatest back to ever play this game? If you had to pick just one. I have a man in mind.
I would pick Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. In my mind, Jim Brown, without question.
I would pick Jim Brown.
Size, speed, durability, talent.
I think before he is done, Eric Dickerson may erase every rushing record in the history of pro football before he's through.
He may, but what Jim Brown did in 9 years.
12,000 plus yards.
Yeah, and he never fumbled like Dickerson does. Hemingway pulls his way up the middle.
True, but I'll remind you that Dickerson fumbled not many times last year. Do you remember how many?
Not that many last year. Yeah, 4 times.
4 times.
But you'll also agree with me that Dickerson has had a problem over the years with putting the football down, especially on a couple of playoff games. He's put the ball down. And one thing you will know from playing a decade in Cleveland, Jim Brown just didn't do that.
Nope. Guy didn't wear any pads. He wore shoulder pads
amazing thing.
And little bitty thigh pads. He wore no knee pads and no hip pads.
My father used to take me to Yankee Stadium every year when the Browns would come to play the Giants, and I was amazed Jim Brown wouldn't wear any pads. He was so big and strong and fast. Bell again. The CU working on the clock now. We're under 9 minutes to go as this second half has gone by quickly, and got another man down. It's Matt Grubb, the starting defensive end, but he's back up. 4th down for CU. 4th and 4. Bill McCartney will eschew the field goal and go for the 1st down. Hemingway, Simmons, and Bell, the running backs. Here's Bell, and he slips down at the 10 and then knocked down by Mark Dubravaz. So Iowa State will take over, and for the first time today, Colorado did not score on an offensive possession. It comes with 8:25 to go in the game. We'll return to Ames in just a minute.
A while back, John Barricato went car shopping.
Take a couple of these, 3
He
of those.
bought 10.
Any particular color, sir? Nah.
Then he did something really unusual.
Ready?
You see, John leads the arson team at Aetna, the company leading the fight against one of America's most expensive crimes. And if we can learn something, we don't mind burning a little cash today
This is what you look for.
to save customers a bundle down the road.
We're going to need more cars.
Les Franklin works for IBM, but he hasn't been at his desk in more than 2 years. That's because he's on loan to the Governor's Job Training Office, where he develops programs that prepare people for jobs. Making do without him isn't easy, but without him, some people might not make it at all. Helping build job skills. It's one way IBM people working in Colorado are working for Colorado.
Sure, I've got questions about finances.
But where can I get advice from someone I trust?
Where can I get more for my money and get all the services I need?
I need someone, some place to believe in.
When you have questions about money,
We've got the answers.
straight advice,
We've got the answers.
people you can trust,
We've got the answers.
only at your credit union.
Look for a special 8-page supplement on credit unions in this Sunday's Denver Post.
52-10 Colorado, and now the crowd is starting to thin out as Chris Peterson is in the game for Iowa State. He had one brief cameo appearance in the first half. On 1st and 10, Peterson steps up, fires deep, and it's nearly intercepted by Dwayne Davis. Lester was the intended receiver. Dwayne Davis, the freshman from Gulfport, Mississippi, was step for step with Lester.
Dwayne Davis, a good enough athlete that there was some talk about moving him to wingback.
Yep.
Davis decided that was not going to be for him due to the loss of O.C. Oliver.
That's the amazing thing, Dave, about this CU team. They have so few seniors. They are loaded with underclassmen. In the next few years, the potential is unlimited.
I agree.
It's pretty exciting. Peterson throws, but it's in and out of the hands of Paul Thibodeau. Now, I remember doing the games back during the Chuck Fairbanks era, and it was hard to imagine back then, during some of the dark days, that
they'd ever win again.
that it could be like this.
I tell you, I'd throw this play out if I'm Jim Walden. This is the 4th time a running back has run the little drag across the field and dropped the ball. And they're dropping the ball because they're waiting to get popped by a linebacker standing in the middle. Now, it's an easy enough catch, but you got wide receivers and tight ends that are much better at catching the football on the move. Running backs usually catch the swing passes and something stationary.
3rd and 10. Lester's got it. Across the 20. Out to the 23. And that's enough for a 1st down, a 13-yard pickup. What do you do when you're a starter and you've been on the sidelines for about 2.5 quarters? How do you kill the time?
Well, as long as you know you're not going back in, you just
relax,
have a little Gatorade, and
take it easy.
Talk to some teammates. Going to have a late hit on CU.
Think about the flight home.
That's one advantage that CU's had this year. They've been able to play a lot of guys. We'll take a look at it. You'll see Lester with a nice move. The late hit comes right there from Hannah with the old right elbow to the ribs routine.
So that moves the ball out to the 38.
Think about what you're doing tonight. Other things that guys on the bench could be doing.
Sure. What game are you going to watch? You watch a little bit of the World Series, a little bit of Notre Dame and Air Force.
Yep.
Maybe a situation comedy or two.
Get a nice steak.
Steak. Enjoy the fact that you're third-ranked team in the country. Jerry Howe knocked the ball out of Peterson's hands, and Lester, with great hustle, came back from his pattern and beat Greg Beaker to the ball and recovered it. And that was a fumble.
Good job around the horn. You can see Howe just knocks the ball out of his hands. Actually, that might have been Lamar Gray. Tough to tell. Good job, as you mentioned, Ron, by Lester having enough presence to come back and get on the ball. That's the problem, again. We told you earlier about the 7-step drop. You're standing back there, and you really allow those front four to come after you. And even the second-team guys have had a pretty good pass rush today.
Well, it's 2nd and 20 for the Cyclones. Here comes the rush. Howe and Beaker put the pressure on. Elder is chasing Peterson. Finally run out at the 42. Still down to Mark McIntosh.
Thanks, Ron. You know, you guys earlier were talking about what these guys are going to do to celebrate this victory. Well, right now they're struggling on the sidelines to find something to do to fight off the boredom. Just a little while ago, linebacker Kanavis McGee and strong safety Bruce Young were playing catch with a football, and thank God they can play good defense because both of them throw horrible spirals. Back up to you guys.
Tough to come up with that tight spiral.
I'll tell you what, it's been a few years since CU's had their first-team guys in the second half playing catch on the sideline. I remember Oklahoma. They came out to Colorado in 1974, I believe, and they were so far ahead at halftime that Joe Washington went up in the stands and was having a Coca-Cola and a hot dog with the fans.
I remember it well. Shirt off, relaxing. Thibodeau carried the ball out to the 49 before Hannah made the stop. Another first down for Iowa State. 6:40 go in the ball game. That's one thing I think that CU has done very well, is even though they've had such a powerhouse and they've had some big numbers, they don't embarrass anybody. They don't show anybody up. They're not out here in T-shirts in the stands. Peterson on 1st and 10. Flag is down. That one was way over the head of Hussein Warmack.
Got a roughing the passer.
Tonight on Channel 4, catch Bronco Beat with Peter Rogat and Mark Jackson. Good show. They'll bring you up to date on all the Bronco news and give you an inside preview of tomorrow's game with the Colts. That's Bronco Beat tonight at 6:30 right here on Channel 4. The Colts with Eric Dickerson, Jack Trudeau, quarterback since the injury to Chris Chandler.
Roughing the passer called on CU. You can see Peterson standing in the pocket. That could have been a serious injury, as Jim Hansen couldn't tell if he was blocked into or just went for the leg. You want to be aggressive. You don't get many opportunities to play, but you also have to be smart and not take ill-advised penalties like that.
Warmack has it, and there's no room up front there, and that CU interior defense pushes him back.
That's a great play by Gary Howe, who stands up the blocker, and with his free hand, his left hand, holds the ball carrier from gaining any further yards.
Warmack. There he is.
Guys in the middle don't get to make big plays that often where they can just grab a lineman, grab it back. Who's ever got the ball, they're just throwing guys down.
Howe, 6 feet, 265 pounds, a junior from Spencer, Iowa. Peterson, complete, and a fine catch by Craig Mahoney, the tight end, giving Iowa State a 1st and goal at the Colorado 9. Mahoney took a pot, Dave, but he held on.
Maybe we're getting an idea as to why he wants to give Peterson some playing time. This is a good throw. Over the linebacker before the safety can get there. And Mahoney does do a good job of holding on to the football. Little seam pattern. You clear that linebacker. You move back to the outside to move yourself away from the safety, and a good throw by Peterson.
For Mahoney, his second catch of the year.
And one that he will remember.
That's for sure. Here's the pitch. Thibodeau inside the 10, down to about the 7. Howe, Hansen, they're both there. Let's go down to Mark.
Thanks, Ron. You know, one guy who is suffering because of the Buffs' success is punter Tom Rouen. He would be leading the nation in punting, but he doesn't get enough attempts. As you might be able to see him right now, all he does is sit here on the sidelines and practice. Last week he punted only once. Today he is yet to step on the playing field back upstairs.
That's a good point, Mark. Tom Rouen has never been on the field today.
It's tough duty.
He'll get his chance later in the year.
If you're a CU fan, you hope he doesn't play all year.
Thibodeau again, a big hole. Thibodeau down to the 2. Rob Hutchins and Scott DeGoler combined to stop Thibodeau. It's 3rd and goal.
You got to give these Cyclone fans a lot of credit. A lot of them still here and very much in this game. You'd think Iowa State driving for the tying touchdown. Thibodeau does a nice job of cutting back, getting a pretty good push up front. This has been an impressive drive, albeit against second-team defenders, but they've been able to muster together enough effort to stick it right toward the goal line.
3rd and goal, just outside the 1. Handoff to Warmack, and Gary Howe nailed Warmack right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Fine play by Gary Howe.
I'll tell you, he and Warmack have become very, very close in this drive.
Gary Howe's played pretty well today.
Sure has.
4th and goal. Iowa State trying to get in the end zone for the first time since their first drive of the day.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. I would not run the fullback straight ahead.
No, we'll count that one out.
Get him outside. Get your quarterback outside the pocket.
Roll out here. Here's the pitch to Thibodeau. He's got an ankle. He made it. Touchdown. So the student body president here at Iowa State, Paul Thibodeau, scores a touchdown.
He stretches this thing out, which really prevents CU from having enough time for the inside pursuit to get to the corner and Thibodeau into the end zone. Nice drive by Iowa State.
Shudak is on for the conversion with 3:05 to go in the ball game. .305 to go. Colorado 52, Iowa State 17.
Have you ever wondered what a baggage handler might take on vacation? Well, everyone should take Samsonite's Glutton for Punishment. Put a luggage cart in a suitcase, and what do you get? Samsonite's Piggyback. It's particularly handy on long trips like the one from your car to the ticket counter.
The Denver Nuggets are hot.
Lever out with the ball. Nuggets on the break, 3-on-2. Feed to Alex. Layup. With a three-pointer from about 40 feet. It's good.
Nuggets fans, season tickets are available now. Get the same great seat every game. Also, ask about our special 21-game package. For more information, call 893-6700.
Hot. Don't miss the Denver Nuggets.
The Giant. Leo Payne. Automotive Plaza. What's the best all-around car for Colorado? The 1990 Subaru Legacy from Leo Payne. Front-wheel drive and four-wheel drive performance with greater power than the Camry or the Accord. And Leo Payne has the best selection and service on Subaru Legacies, starting as low as $11,995. Leo Payne. For over 30 years, the dealer that cares.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go down to the sidelines and Mark McIntosh.
Thank you very much, Ron. One injury update to report. Backup fullback Tony Senna has a bruised left foot. He's got some ice on it. He says he's going to be okay, but he probably will not see any more action here this afternoon. Back upstairs.
3:05 to go in the game.
Gary Howe evidently having cramps. J.J. Flannigan giving him the business, saying, see, you should eat your bananas. Bananas give you potassium, and they help against cramp.
Boy, if you've never cramped up, you don't know what that feels like.
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, it's the worst. So Colorado will try and run out the final 3:05 here in Ames, and then it's home and get ready for Kansas. We'll be back in just a minute.
So how many do we need?
1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
When you need copies fast, count on Kinko's, the copy center. We take care of the copies so you can take care of business. Kinko's is your one-stop copy center with plenty of top-quality, easy-to-use machines, a place to create, a comfortable workspace, a wide selection of stationery and office supplies. Open early and late, Kinko's is your full-service copy center.
Yeah, I put new brakes in my car last night. Yeah? Did you go to Meineke? No. Why?
Imagine how much better you'd feel if you'd come to Meineke. Our under-the-car specialist would have thoroughly inspected your brake system and then installed the right brakes at a great Meineke price. So when you need new brakes, remember...
Don't worry. They're not laughing at you.
It's smart to come to Meineke.
Hi, Carl Mecklenburg for Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda. Remember, for every new vehicle sold, $100 is given to the Sachem Project. Thanks to your tremendous response, we've raised over $10,000.
Supreme Subaru and Richards Mazda.
Bringing Coloradans the story first. That's the idea behind the Eyewitness 4 network. Volunteers helping us expand our reach. When you see a story happen, dial #4SEND with your U.S. West cellular phone. The Eyewitness 4 network on News 4.
52-17, Colorado with 3:05 to go. Mark Walters now in at quarterback. That is Mark with it. The late pitch to Michael Simmons. Simmons out across the 25 to the 27. 7-yard pickup. Dubrava, the free safety, made the stop.
Man, should Eric Bieniemy not be able to come back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Matt Bell would be the backup to J.J. Flannigan. But number 42 in your screen, Michael Simmons, becomes a very, very valuable player. He's had experience. He's played fullback for this team. A hard-nosed, tough inside runner. He's had a propensity to fumble in the past, which hopefully he is cured, but he's a pretty good back to have as a backup player.
Had some big games in the past. Hemingway in the ball game. He was the ball carrier. You'll get a good look at Eric Bieniemy. Let's go down to Mark.
Thanks, guys. You know, Dave, earlier you were talking about Gary Howe and how he's cramping up, and J.J. was telling him to eat his bananas. Well, J.J., I was just talking to him. He knows from experience. He said he rarely played the fourth quarter of his high school football games because he would always cramp up, and he's learned the hard way, by golly, to eat those bananas. Back upstairs.
When did you know that, Dave? Early on in your illustrious career?
About the first time I cramped up.
Yeah. It's a big hole up the middle for Simmons. Look at Michael go. One man to beat. Finally pushed out of bounds, but all the way down to the Iowa State 24. A big gain for the junior out of Kirkwood, Missouri. Steve Warren ran him out.
Michael Simmons has always been a guy that has had the ability to break tackles. He runs through arm tackles. He doesn't expect to go down when the first guy hits him. He's got good speed. He's come back from disciplinary problems. He was removed from the club for 1 full year, but he's battled his way back out of the doghouse, and he could play a very important role as this season continues.
Hemingway takes it again. Down close to the 20 as the clock at 2:15 now and rolling. Another very impressive Colorado performance in a string of impressive performances. Walters has it. There's the pitch to Simmons. Michael is down inside the 15 to the 14. Sean Walker, number 28, made the stop.
Now, that's probably not the one phase of the game that you want to feature Michael Simmons in. Obviously, when your quarterback's going to get tackled, you got to pitch the ball, but he's not at his best in an area like this because he doesn't have the real elusive moves. He's a guy that you line up in the I formation, you give him the ball. He's a slashing type runner that breaks a lot of tackles, doesn't make a lot of people miss. So if you see Simmons in the games the next few weeks, you can look for him to run between the tackles, be utilized like that.
Walters has it, keeps it inside the 10, tiptoes down the sidelines to the 7. It'll be second and about 3 with 1:22 to go in the game. Don't forget, we'll have the Oklahoma game for you on tape delay. Be excited to be there, excited to do it. We'll also have the Oklahoma State game tape delay, and of course we'll have the Kansas State game live from Manhattan later in November. Walters caught from behind. Dean White, number 50, made a nice tackle on Walters. It'll be third and about 6. I'm sure that game in Manhattan will be delightful for Dave Logan and myself.
We shall bring jackets.
Heavy jackets.
I remember last year in Nebraska, the Cornhuskers stuck us closer to the moon than the field. What a great game that was.
That was a tremendous game. Michael Simmons will be short on third down. Speaking of that game, if anybody beats Nebraska, I hope it's J.J. Flannigan with a touchdown run.
Yeah, that would be fitting. I don't think I've ever done a game as high in the air as that one at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln.
That ranks up there. Yeah, we were way up there. Did one in Indiana a long time ago where we were light years from the field, but that was the final play of the ball game. They'll let the clock run out. Bill McCartney seeking out Jim Walden. 2 shake hands. There's the gun. Colorado keeps that perfect record intact. They are now 6-0. Wins over Texas, CSU, Illinois, Washington, Missouri, and now Iowa State. Let's go down to Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ron. We're here live with Coach Mack. 52-17, very impressive victory.
It really was. I thought our second offense did a good job in there, and our second defense as well. So it was good to come out the second half. And all the years I've been coaching, I've never been on the sideline where we could, at halftime, put the second team both sides in and have them play the whole second half. So that was fun.
The victory dampened a bit by the injury to Eric.
Yeah, Eric, we won't lose him for too long, I don't think. Being the kind of kid he is and the kind of medical help we've got, I think we'll get him back.
And with the depth you've developed this year, Matt Bell showed that he can step in and help Flannigan now.
Right. Yeah, Matt and even Simmons. Simmons can go in there and play if he has to.
Your offense in the first half just dominated, especially in the second quarter. Darian Hagan, just a wonderful, wonderful option quarterback.
He really played a great first half and put the ball on the money. And I thought we blocked him pretty well. And I thought our scheme, our coaches mixed up their plays well.
Coach, congratulations. Big victory.
Okay, thanks.
52-17, the Buffs are now 6-0 on the season, 2-0 in the Big 8. Back upstairs to Ron Zappolo.
Thanks, Mark. And Dave, you were right about Michael Simmons. We may see him a little bit in place of Eric Bieniemy. Notice that Darren Muhlenberg and Joe Garden were hamming it up, having some fun there. That's it. Colorado wins it big. We'll return to Ames in just a minute.
The gigantic liquidation